is on my characters.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Apologies for that, but
life is hard.
Life is hard. Life takes priority, and life is hard sometimes. So we are back. We have everyone around the table, so we are ready to get back to our campaign and back to our regular D&D sessions. Fingers crossed, cross toes, cross everything you can cross. Eyes, nose, toes, whatever.
I can do toes. Nose might be harder.
Whatever.
Sure no.
Just want to say thank you guys for being here. This is we are not professionals. We're just having fun, and we're bringing you guys along with us. So hope you enjoy yourselves this evening. We do have in addition to the streams here, all of our video content does go to our YouTube channel. That is the easiest way to find it is just go to YouTube and search for Casual Cactus, Casual with a C, Cactus with a K, and you should be able to find it just fine. We've got all of the back episodes for this campaign, our previous campaign, a couple of smaller limited run campaigns, one that is ongoing, one that is not, a bunch of one-shots, and some other extra content that we put up as well. Anything that's video related to this channel does wind up on the YouTube channel. So if you ever miss anything and you need to go back and catch up, that's the place to go. In addition to our YouTube channel, we do also have our Discord server up and running. That is probably the best place to keep up with announcements. Anything that we have announcements-wise that you guys need to know about can be found on the Discord server. Schedule changes come to mind because we've had quite a few of those recently. We do try and make those announcements on Discord so that you know what's happening and don't wind up sitting in the chat room for the stream with nothing happening. So do go check that out. In addition to announcements for this channel, one of the players, Kyrie, does also run a creative stream, and she does a lot of stuff on the Discord server with that. Also has announcements when she's streaming, so go check that out as well.
Griffin XX Demon.
Griffin XX Demon, absolutely. So...
She's so cool.
So...
Not even.
Oh, no. This one. There we go.
False.
No,
Truth.
that's
False.
not the right one.
That's from last
It's because I changed some presets. That's lovely.
That's fine.
Do you need sticky notes with the new stuff on?
No,
You just changed one.
no, I just changed one button is all, and I need to change it back because we did something different last week. Bear with me
Which
one
was
moment.
fun.
Yes, it was.
It was a lot of fun.
Go on our YouTube channel and check out our gaming stream we did last week. We played Ukatoa. And we played a very interesting game of Bang.
No, that's not the right
Just
one.
a little
There
too
were a lot
tall.
of bad jokes regarding banging.
You left that one alone.
Sometimes it's just better to leave it alone.
You're not wrong.
To reiterate.
That's mine. Have that back.
Okay.
Just tears it off.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Huzzah!
Hooray,
Okay.
Kaloo,
Still,
We have all of us somehow.
yeah, we do have all of us
Yes.
on the camera. Sorry about that. I've got entirely too many scenes and not nearly enough buttons on my button panel. All right. I think that's all we've got as far as
Yes.
announcements from my end. Does anyone have any other announcements they need to share? No?
Pregnant.
Again.
Congratulations.
Again?
The third?
No.
When are
No,
you
Natalie
doing?
is not pregnant.
What?
What?
No.
Steven is.
Who's the lucky guy?
Me.
All right. With that, then, I know it's been a while, but who would like to do a recap?
Was the last time that we played when all of us were together?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Because if so,
Yes,
I do
actually.
have notes.
Yes.
Go
Yes, it
for
was.
it.
So go for it.
Okay. So,
No,
we're
I
camping
wasn't.
again. Maul dreams a recurring dream. Drought, desperation, triumph, destruction. Castian wakes
That's the best sound ever.
Yes.
I love it. I love
Also,
the dream.
for those
Big sound effects.
That's
not
amazing.
here in the room, he's not actually choking, he just makes those noises. Promise.
We promise.
I
You
swear.
can trust us.
Sure.
I mean, we've
Sure.
kept one alive before this.
Well timed, kid.
Anyway, Castian dreams he's back in his shop. He's saving a hat for Alma, and then it turns to ash. His childhood sweetheart turns to ash. Kel's shop, bonfire, turns to ash. Alma, ash.
I know, it feels so good.
He's already dead, I mean.
Milo dreams he gets out of the palace, and he's playing a drinking game with Adrian, asks, is this real? And then it's morning. It's a rough morning. Mizuki tries to contact Volk. He fought for 9 hours straight. Mizuki tells him to follow the hummingbird that Killian sent. It might have worked. We decide how to get to our destination. We head south. After I and Simi have a moment, he decides to come with us instead of going with the retainers. Mizuki warns the retainers that her parents might be in danger. We trek. We find an old dwarven outpost. There's a magical archway, something about the eyes of the eagle. Mal walks through. Killian thinks it's a bad idea, but most of us walk through anyway and get magicked. Mal and Killian look for underground dwarven stuff and find nothing. Milo finds magic obsidian daggers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah.
And then they find things. Cabbage throws a rock through the arch. Dagger urn and darkness armor is what I wrote down.
I mean, that's the gist of it.
Oh, dizzy helmet. I have a dizzy helmet.
Wait,
that. That allows you to see
Yes.
360 degrees in every
Yes.
direction.
And then we camp. We sort out the watches. Cabbage insists on taking a watch with Killian. Castian is hallucinating Alma and barely holding it together. Mizuki is throwing shade. I have no idea what that means, but apparently it was enough.
She called me a
to
commoner.
hold
She said
Yeah,
I was
Oh.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said maybe it's hard for a commoner like you to understand.
Oh, because you guys had a conversation
Yeah,
about
we
God.
had a
Yes.
philosophical conversation.
Right.
Well, not a conversation, an argument.
It was a conversation.
Somewhat conversation.
The rest of the notes.
It was
Tomato.
for Mizuki. It was a conversation.
Mizuki, for her part, thought she was being perfectly polite.
Yes, he was.
Oh my goodness, child.
It's a great sound. It's
He's
fine.
a happy baby.
Yes.
Cooing. Making all the fun
We
sounds.
They have a talk about gods and whether or not we should give a crap. It's very interesting theological discussion. Mizuki defending, Castian attacking, Killian can't stuff a sneeze, and gets into the conversation, reluctantly. Castian may have some extremist views. Killian is more utilitarian. Second watch. Killian and Cabbage have a heart-to-heart. Cabbage says she doesn't want to hate him anymore, and he hates himself, but they're going to work through it. Cabbage convinces Killian to drop alarm for a minute. She goes up and prays. Basically tells Balance that he needs to come back. Third watch. Simi and Mal. Mal tries to avoid conversation. It happens anyway. He lets Simi try to talk to his bird shadows. It doesn't work. Then they talk about Mal's childhood. Apparently Mal's family was part of a tribe or something that had some form of slavery, ? Wolves! They speak common.
Winter wolves.
And Killian makes a deal giving them meat. They say something about talking being an ability of the winter wolves. It works. And we go back to watches. Simi and Mal have a heart-to-heart about trust and her inability to distinguish reality. He makes some good points. Mal wants to be a big damn hero because everyone thinks he is.
That's appropriate.
And that's where we left it.
I think that's a fairly concise replay.
Matches stuff with my nuts too, so.
I slept.
So, yeah. All right then.
Yeah.
So we're just having a discussion about when exactly it was that we said that you couldn't hear us through that.
And you totally could.
When you totally could, but that's neither here nor there.
Nor anywhere.
Nor anywhere. It's
Anywhere.
probably on the
That's
internet
it.
somewhere.
No, I'm sure.
Okay. So, you guys are getting up from another night spent on the road. Who was the final watch? I think
That
it
was
was Mal and Simi. So you guys go around, wake everyone up, get started. Whoever's going to cook breakfast does so.
I will.
And then you guys pack up and head out. Is there anything you guys want to do before you leave?
I would like to talk to Mizuki.
Go for it.
Bum,
Go for it.
Okay, better you than me.
Hey, Mizuki.
Yes.
I kind of have a little project I'm working on and could use your assistance.
What kind of project?
I need, can you make mithril?
Let me consult my notes.
If it's
Bless you.
how much mithril would you like?
Yes.
I have a design of one of these. It's like a
A guitar pick?
like a
A
dragon
guitar pick?
scale sort of thing.
Okay.
Just taking what-
About.
What? It's gonna be a-
About.
It's metal. It has some metal, right?
Hey,
Yes.
There's metal, yeah.
I need.
Gold pieces, right?
No.
I mean, if it's
I need
well,
300 gold's worth. I don't need it all in one go. I just need.
Okay.
I just need those that I can put on something, that I can infuse onto something.
Interesting.
How big is it?
Dinner plate.
Okay.
From the knees.
You have to remind me what you need it for because
how,
yeah.
how much is? I guess what's the equivalency of mithril to gold pieces?
Why are you making a mess?
It's-
Can I point something out? So it specifies that you can make 100 gold pieces worth of material, right?
Yes.
And Brayden, you need 300 gold pieces worth of this material.
Yes.
Okay, so it just is
It
going to
would
take you
take
3
3
times.
days.
Yeah,
Take
that's
3,
basically
yeah.
online.
We don't actually have to do the math and
Yeah.
figure out the conversion.
Now,
Just to remind you
3 times.
the ritual.
oh yes, gotcha.
Okay. Yes.
Now,
Blood?
the
it
trick.
would take me 3 hours.
Now the trick to that is the art of forging mithril is a closely guarded secret.
But
you-
I'm not forging it.
No, you're not. But you're going to give him 3 separate pieces that he wants to make into one item.
So
Be
you would
fine.
have to forge it into something.
Look,
It'll be fine.
your
We'll get some
instruction,
Velcro.
your instruction
Next level?
says that I have to infuse
Okay.
mithril with it.
As a
It doesn't
player-
specify how I infuse
As a
it.
player,
Uh
Just a hammer.
next level I get fabricate.
huh.
So
Okay.
Stamps.
that might.
We'll just buy some command strips.
There we go.
Okay,
There you go.
What if we could we do it with some other metal? I don't. Anyway.
I don't think so.
Okay, but it just might take me a while, but I would be happy to help.
Okay. I kind of wrote down the instructions I was given, so if you want to consult with this project, that would be grateful.
Okay.
And I'll write down what I remember,
Okay.
aka what you gave
Right,
me,
right.
and we'll hand it to her. I think, yeah, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
So Mal will do a quick loop through the,
I will also hand you 300 gold pieces.
Okay.
what is that called? The archway.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say a quick prayer to the Dwarven gods.
Okay.
Just saying, thank you for the bounty.
Okay.
We appreciate the safety that we had.
All right.
If Mal's birds are out.
They are not.
Oh, okay. Whenever they are, if it's not like battle-ish
As soon as
times
we're
or anything
walking,
like that.
he basically has to keep up.
Ah, gotcha.
So.
So whenever that happens, like I attempt, even though I don't expect them to talk back, like I continually thank the birds and try and show them appreciation, because now I deeply suspect that they're slaves. And I don't love this, but I also can't prove it, so like I'm
Good
just
to know.
attempting to make them feel like they are cared about.
And every time you do, Mal just sort of shakes his head and switches places with it and keeps walking.
They're not real.
I don't think that's true. I don't totally understand, but I don't think that's true.
Are you physically praying, or is it more just kind of a little prayer in your head? I mean, he'll probably say it aloud, but quietly.
Oh. Just like, where'd my phone go?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just.
No, you're good.
Okay.
That's not your fault.
No, you're fine.
Westward?
But yeah, it'll take me a while. So
Yeah.
maybe.
And I'll work on the 1/3 that's below. I just need help with the decorative thing.
So I
Yeah.
believe you guys were headed towards that one lone sort of hill, using that as a guidepost to go.
Here, you can see what it is.
So who's sort of leading the party? Who's keeping tabs? So go ahead and make your survival check at advantage, because
What?
you have a landmark. It's not hard to follow.
Again?
It just gives me a spell slot.
14.
Again? Okay.
Easy
that's
enough.
fine.
So you guys do make good time across the plains. There are a couple of times through the course of the day where you kind of detour around a particularly steep gully. They're not super common, but it's just areas where runoff is sort of worn
Thank you, Chippa.
hills into the landscape. Anyone who's sort of watching out around you guys will note that the mountain is getting closer as the day goes on. Anyone that wants to can also make just a perception check around you guys to keep an eye out for things if you're not doing other stuff.
Yeah, I would probably.
A 6 for Milo, and
So-
then I will do Ingir as well.
Okay.
Well, you're fired for right now.
And a unnatural 20 for
A natural 20.
for
Danny fired a die.
11!
Okay.
I have a +6
19.
crabby roll.
19.
Unnatural 20.
A natural 20.
18.
18. No.
No.
No. Okay. Those of you who rolled high and did well, notice right around midday that there is a figure riding something that sort of appears on a ridge line, not too far enough away that you're having a hard time discerning what it is, but not so far away that you missed it completely. It's sort of just a little speck on the ridge line. It's not directly in your path, but you get the sense that it's someone or something that is out watching, and it watches you guys as you travel for maybe a half hour or so, and then it disappears back on the other side of the ridge.
I didn't
what
see it.
was it? It
Yeah,
was
definitely.
someone on a horse or
It's hard. It was hard to tell. I mean, it was just a figure on some kind of steed.
Is following us.
That was not what you were saying.
Nope.
Okay, so
everyone see that, right?
So what?
what?
Yes.
Apparently not.
So I wasn't paying attention. What?
There was a rider on the ridge.
There was a random.
I
Yes.
thought that was Braden, not
Sorry.
I didn't. I didn't catch that. No, where was he?
2 arms?
Where was he?
On the ridge.
On the ridge? Like, on
Just in, I
Pacific
just
Ridge.
point in the general
Okay.
direction.
Yeah, and you point over that direction, but it's already disappeared by this point.
But he's whatever it was is gone now.
Do you want me to run ahead and see if there's anything?
Strength in numbers, probably.
From what I understand, the last time you did that, it didn't end so well.
True. And if it's a rider, it's more strategic for us to be in a group because he can just ride one of us down instead of us in a group. It's easy for us to defend ourselves. I'm an educated person. I studied a lot. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was it's a very sound logic.
Thank you. Just
Fair enough.
keep our eyes up then. Alien, continue.
We'll continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue. So you guys do continue. Sort of, you've got the hill in your, ahead of you.
Hey Keith.
Yeah.
How much would it slow us down if I tried to keep us in the valleys instead of going over the hills or on the ridges?
I mean, it would slow you down a little bit. Not a lot.
Then everything is above us.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it would slow you down a little bit, but not much.
I'm gonna do that.
The bigger problem with that is if you're low, keeping eyes on your landmark
Mm-hmm.
just became harder.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, you absolutely can do that.
Yep, I'm gonna do that.
All right. So your rate of advance does slow a little bit. I mean, it doesn't feel like it for you guys, just because you're still maintaining your own pace instead of going straight. Though you're sort of weaving back and forth through the low spots in the terrain. About an hour or so past midday. You come to one of those spots where, Killian, you kind of have to go to the high ground at this point.
Okay.
You're having a hard time now seeing that hill without going to the top of a hill. So this is a good spot to do that.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to go up to take a peek, see anybody else going with him.
I will send Ingir with him.
You will send
I'll go
Ingir
up.
with him, and Mao. Okay.
I don't make that much of a silhouette.
So the rest of you guys are sort of waiting down in the hollow.
I think I would probably go up with him too. I'm still gun shy to let Killian too terribly far off.
Okay.
Let Killian and Mal both sneak away together.
I mean, what you do on your own time is your own business.
Hey, they just want some
but-
alone time. Okay.
We'll
Anybody?
be gone. There will just be two shadows
That's not
there.
fair. I don't like Helium.
That's why I'm
and
on
I'm
this
kind
quest.
of aren't really with her, so
Anybody else?
I'll stay to keep peace.
Okay.
it'll stay.
Probably smart. Somebody should.
All right. So all of you that went up and in gear, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Don't suck this time, dice. That's one better. 12. What the heck?
No.
Did your dice get in with mine?
No.
13 with a -2.
No.
23.
I rolled a 15.
Ingir.
Wow.
He's on your shoulder, just like.
While they're going up there,
So-
I'm just gonna...
What does his draconic eyes see?
I'm gonna class... Ooh, I'm
An
gonna
army.
cast...
Oh, don't say that. Don't
Okay.
give him ideas.
So are you actively looking through his eyes, or are you letting him do the?
I'm letting
do the
him
scout?
because if I do it myself, it
Okay.
goes to my stats.
You might trip while walking.
So the picture you get back is very clearly a boat. You are miles away from the river,
Like-
miles away from any body of water big enough to have you be able to get your entire body into.
Like,
But the very clear picture he sends you back is a boat.
so whoever's by me, whoever is down there is like, I guess there's a boat out here?
What?
That's what Inger just sent. It's just a boat. Like,
a boat?
on the snow or flying?
Let me?
It's a boat. From the picture you get is a boat down on the ground.
A boat
I'll
down
take
on
a
the
look.
ground.
What kind of boat? Is it a big boat? Small boat? Two-man
He's
boat?
not
I
giving
don't
you
know.
that.
I
take a
don't
look.
know boats.
And neither does Inger.
And neither does Inger.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything there, so I think it's safe. Well, safe as much as a boat in the middle of nowhere in winter can.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
All right, so you guys you've got your bearing to the hill that you're looking for. Taking a sort of look at the lay of the land. There's if you go that way, the hollow kind of loops around and sort of goes the direction you want to go. So you got an idea, especially if you're wanting to stay in the low ground, which direction to head. So you turn around to go back down to the group and see Mizuki coming up the hill, I assume?
Uh,
I mean, is that what you were going to do? I mean, because you would have to go to high ground to be able to see what Ingir saw.
I'm just gonna cast clairvoyance
Okay.
instead.
So remind me
Takes
how that works.
10 minutes, and then she
So
can
it takes
see
10
everything
minutes,
within like.
Okay.
and it's an area either that I can see or that I'm familiar with,
Okay.
or that so.
Okay. So
So wait, you're going to the top of the hill and looking at the boat and then scrying on it? Is that what I'm getting?
So what are you
No.
what are you trying to do? So you're trying to scry on because at the moment all you've got is the message from Ingir through Milo that there's a boat somewhere.
Yeah, they went up the ridge, so I would just send it toward where I saw them.
Okay, so you're gonna put your sensor up at the top of the
Yes,
hill. Okay,
yes.
that okay. Got it.
And I able to sing.
Okay.
I would receive all.
All right. So you guys sort of you've got your bearing. You've done your lay of the land. You guys turn around and start walking down the hill. Mizuki is sitting. I mean, how are you? Because it's taking 10 minutes. Describe kind of what your posture looks like.
Yeah, I'll probably be just sitting or kneeling on the ground. Probably like deep in meditation, or like my eyes closed, viewing what my
Okay.
sensor is viewing.
So Mizuki is down off of her horse, kneeled down, basically praying.
Okay, alright.
Anybody know how long that's gonna take?
No.
I think it's just gonna kind of look up. You want to give us a timeline? Now would be good.
About 10 minutes.
I love it when the gods answer. It's always convenient.
Apparently, it will take 10 minutes to do whatever she's doing.
Right, we have to scope out that ship.
What?
Sorry, that what?
Did you guys not see the ship?
Ship?
Yeah.
Like,
Like a boat?
you mean like the sort of thing that goes on water, has sails?
That needs water to go.
I understand that, but that's what Ingir said he saw.
Huh.
Is Ingir still on my shoulder?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at him. I'm gonna go back up and take another look.
Ingir will point you in the direction.
So the tail
follow
comes
you.
out and he sort of points off about 30 degrees off from the course that you had been setting, and make a perception check with advantage because you are now seeing, or you now have a sort of a direction.
Your eyes have been opened.
I think you got it.
Natural 20.
Hey!
All right, so for you now and for you,
Okay.
because you've got your sensor up about the time
Yes.
Killian gets back to the top of the hill with Ingir, your sensor poof pops in. You see Killian, you see Ingir, and you see Ingir's tail sort of pointing a direction.
Okay.
And your sensor turns and looks.
Yes.
Sure enough, there is a boat sitting out on the plain, just out in the middle of.
How big of a boat?
It looks like it's actually a fairly decent sized riverboat. From where it's sitting, it's in sort of a low spot in the landscape, not as low as the place you've been walking, but it's a little bit of a low spot, and you can kind of see the shadow of where an old riverbed might have run. So think a picture of a meandering river that goes back and forth, and one of those cut-off oxbow lakes that is sort of silted in and filled in.
Okay.
That's where it's sitting.
Based on that riverbed, how big of a river are we talking?
It's the same river that flows by, or it looks like it might actually be an old riverbed for the same river that flows by Satterton.
Okay, and I assume the boat looks old.
Very much so.
Okay.
Very old. They're from what you can see, from what you can both see, there's the remains of an old mast that is sort of cracked off and fallen over. There's some fairly obvious gaps in the hull. It is not river-worthy, seaworthy, anything like that. And there's figures around it, and there's smoke sort of curling.
Oh, good.
How
Someone
many
lives there.
figures?
From where you're standing, it looks like 20, 25.
At least one.
How big do they appear to be in comparison to the ship?
Comparison to the ship, if the ship is the same scale as the riverboats you're used to, they're actually fairly small. They're not. I mean, they're clearly humanoid, and but they're small. They're short.
Dwarvish?
No, not dwarf.
No.
No.
Starts with a G, ends with an oblin.
Or starts with an Asian is a
Now,
halfling.
now you are also seeing like very rough sort of farmed patches, very rough animal corrals with like goats and sheep maybe in it. There's a handful like that you can see, a handful, 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, that look like they might be on some sort of patrol guard-wise. And as you watch, there's one that sort of rides in from off to the west on something.
Word-like.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have the word for it, but yeah,
Warg-like.
it's warg-like. Just the one.
Okay,
And you see
so
all of that as well.
Mizuki, well, it seems there is indeed a boat in the middle,
Okay.
just beyond that hill. Ingir was not incorrect.
Alright.
So, bonfire?
How?
Do we know?
So I can see that they put out these patches to grow. How civilized Am I seeing any of the normal signs I would associate with like the goblins or the kobolds? There's no like heads on pikes. There's no.
Doesn't appear to be.
What are you thinking?
Did you come up here with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you make the perception roll as well?
Yeah, I can't roll above a 6 apparently.
Okay.
At this point, I don't know if it matters because I'm gonna be like, whoa.
Make the roll again with advantage,
I don't trust any of my dice right now.
just because he's pointing the right direction.
Oh, that was better. Okay, I got above a 20 now.
You can see it now clearly as well.
Can I change my sensor to hearing?
Ooh.
To hearing, yeah.
It's
So
it's an action.
yeah, so the picture goes away and you can hear you can hear
them.
you can hear them.
I can hear them.
I just don't know if it's worth our time.
Would there be
guys
any
are
benefit, really?
You guys are aware of her sensor. Should be, right?
They can see it.
Mhm.
Wait, let's see.
I don't.
Isn't it an invisible?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we can.
Oh, okay.
Without
Wait, no,
without
wait.
some extra
Can
sensor.
she not hear what's at the boat?
No, it's invisible.
She could, but she'd have to.
She
move
could, but she would have to
It.
recast
She
it
put
to the
at
right.
top of
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a benefit, but also, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they want.
I mean,
And we don't
the
really
range is
have
1
to
mile.
go over there. We could just ignore it.
Okay, now that I
Okay.
see it.
Yeah, it is invisible. So
Okay. So you guys wouldn't be aware that she's listening to you.
Unless they can see invisibility or true sight.
Yep. So, no.
Have any of the does it seem like any of their lookouts have noticed us over here?
No.
And how much smoke is rising up?
It looks like what you would expect from a settlement's campfire or cook fires
Yeah.
kind of thing. So fireplaces, cook fires.
I mean,
things
I
like
guess
that.
we can let everybody decide. We don't really have to go over there for anything as far as I know, so.
If we don't have to, I'm inclined to say no. Because it doesn't look like they're in distress or anything like that. Really, they've got a camp
Just living.
thing going.
Not that you can tell from
Yeah,
here.
looks like-
Justice says you have to kill them.
Looks like they're just living, so
I'm okay.
We can ask
yeah.
if everybody wants to, but I see no reason to go get involved with
I'm
whatever
with
that
you
is.
on that.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna head down the hill.
Mizuki will.
Alma would go. Alma would go.
See who they are.
There's
See
like-
what they are.
They're coming back. I think there's some goblins or something. Anyway,
Can you see what they are with your sensor?
You'd
I can
have
check.
to recast it to move it to there, but
it doesn't have
And
any
she's still just sitting.
for movement. It doesn't have any things about moving it.
Yeah, I think you'd have to recast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't have
can't
to
move
be
it. You have to
range
recast
is
it.
1 mile.
Is the camp within
But-
1 mile?
Like, and it says.
Keith's
You
brain
can
is
use the
currently querying
chosen
how
sense
far we
through
can
the
see.
sensor as if you were in its space. So if I move, then would it move?
No.
No.
No. You have to recast it.
It is stationary.
It is stationary.
Arcane Eye.
It doesn't
does-
say that it's stationary.
Yeah, Arcane
Well,
Eye.
there is a spell that does that specifically called Arcane Eye, and so it would make more sense for
It
this to
just
be stationary.
says, well, it doesn't say that it's stationary. And it says you can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space.
So DM's discretion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be stationary. So
Okay,
so if
that's
you
fine.
wanted to move it over there, you can. You would just have to
Okay.
recast it.
That's fine.
Well, alright, we'll wait for them to come back.
Yeah.
Then.
I'll just
Doop, doop,
I'll
doop, doop.
go back to seeing, I guess, and see what I can,
Okay.
what else I can see.
And
see a dragon come out of the boat.
Surprise!
Ingo's father?
Daddy.
Make
You didn't mean
me
ship on water, you meant ship in stars.
Ooh. Ooh.
make me a history check at disadvantage.
Who? Oh,
Me.
The person who's still looking.
So while they're doing that,
Okay.
I'm going to randomly kind of go to the side. Anybody if they want to talk? Anyone?
We're sorry. No operator is currently available to take your call.
10?
just get the dial-up tone.
I'm not
That's what happened
doing
last time.
Yeah, I mean, you are seeing a little bit of activity, like in and out of the boat hull, but you're not able to really distinguish what it is you're actually looking at. It's you know, it's figures coming and going.
Okay.
Seems. Make me an insight check.
Can I can't do perception?
No, this one's gonna have to be insight.
Okay, that's fine.
So, no response. Useless guides.
Oh, I guess that's okay. I just didn't roll
Give
one.
me the answer, Killian. I don't know that, but I would be really pissed off.
7.
Yeah, you're just.
I didn't roll well, so.
You're seeing activity, but you're having a hard time making out what it might possibly
Okay.
be.
Okay, that's fine.
So you guys get back down to the rest of the group.
So there is indeed a boat.
Okay.
Okay. About
Yes.
It's a boat that is now on land because the river is gone.
okay.
Old boat with people living in it, small people.
Like
Don't look at me.
Like goblins.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They have outriders. That's probably what we saw earlier.
How old does this boat look?
What do you mean?
Like, did they kill people that
Oh,
were
no.
in there?
Ancient boat.
Oh.
Whole lots. No longer seaworthy. The mast has been knocked down.
Well then, let's
So
continue
they're
and try to be wary that they don't spot us.
I think they already did
Well,
earlier.
But they haven't like
I
come
don't
out
think
in
it
mass.
matters. Yeah,
So
I don't think that we
Watch
have
it
no
happen.
reason to go over there. I don't think they have any reason to come over here.
all right then. Let's just continue and hope that.
So unless one of you really wants to go poke around,
why? Seems odd to be a ship way out here.
I feel like with the current circumstances given, I would say we should be ready just in case they decide to come to us.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
no doubt.
But if they're just there, then there's no point in picking a fight where there's not one. So, and they don't seem like they're in distress. It doesn't seem like they need help with anything. So,
Whatever they are, they're just living and doing whatever.
kind of
So.
looks like it.
Do you know how many there were?
I saw like around 20, so at least 20.
Well then, let's just continue then.
That's fine. Sorry, I'm trying to math here. Yeah, it's 3. So.
That was a lot of dice you just rolled there, Keith.
Make a perception check.
Gosh dang it. I'm so
Super
good at
fireball.
those. Failed me.
Only because you.
You failed me!
Only because you.
That'd be an 8. I have a +6! Why?
So. You kind of just. You're not even realize. You don't even realize you did it.
Question.
You just kind of. You realize you just kind of glance around.
We're still within the 24-hour mark from when you walked through the.
Yes.
So
Oh,
you have
you
advantage.
have- so you have
advantage.
Ah!
Yes, we all do.
Well, everyone who
Or
walked through.
everyone who
Well, I
Not
mean,
that
that's
it matters.
better. 14?
Yeah.
That's significantly better than 8.
If it helps, Keith, I will point out that there is snow covering the ground, so hiding's really hard without magic.
Yeah. Hiding is really.
I don't
hard
know if
without
that
magic.
matters. I'm just pointing it out.
So you're having this conversation with your fellows, and you kind of, you're not real sure what triggers it, but you kind of look around, and there is now a, like, scuffed up patch in the snow on a spot where pebbles and rocks have just slid down the slope and sort of piled at the bottom.
Oh no! Glad we're alone.
Hi there.
Yeah,
They're not
hello.
going to answer you.
I don't really particularly feel like they
And
would.
there's a goblin standing there.
Oh,
What?
I thought you were talking to the shadows again.
No, no.
And it's holding up a bleached white bird.
A bleached white what?
A bleached white bird.
What kind of bird?
It's just,
Do I see this?
just
It's a bird.
In my sensor. I
Uh,
saw my
not-
sensor up.
not
No,
from
'cause
your
this is
sensor
down
because
where
it's
we are.
happening in
Oh,
the it's happening in the camp. It's just like a
Oh.
like a pheasant or something. So some sort of game bird that lives.
Is this your version of a white flag?
Do you speak Goblin?
No, but I can fix that if I need to.
Do you speak common?
I will speak in Goblin. What are you doing?
Oh, you!
And speaking in Goblin, he replies to you, "Our chief needs help. We can you come help?"
How long have you been here?
I just came down the
No.
hillside
How long have you lived in this area?
How long have you been here?
all my life.
Okay, one second. It's a white flag. Apparently,
No, that is a bird.
No.
For them, that's actually
it's
pretty
a-
close. I'm
yeah.
surprised they got the right color.
It's a symbolic white flag. And apparently, the chief is asking for help.
With what?
So he says.
What?
So, hold on. Let me get to it. And then going back to God. What's his problem? What's the problem?
He got hurt.
Oh.
He was. What is pinky word? And this sort of comes out in common. Betrayed by some, and goes back into Goblin, by someone. Promised something, took it back.
I like the idea that goblins don't have their own word for the concept of betrayal.
Okay, one second. Apparently, somebody betrayed him.
Yeah, we got that part.
Yeah, betrayed him,
Yeah,
and
we
they
got that.
took something back, and in the process, the chief got hurt.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So-
the
Is he
definition
one
the
of?
word
Maybe
betrayal.
he's one of the ones that got attacked by the golems.
Oh, possibly.
I don't know that anybody got up. Wait, that's Alma. Never mind. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm just putting this out there. One, do we trust goblins?
He might get on insight.
I've never met one personally.
You're the only
but
person here who can speak their language. Do you
Yeah,
trust
what's
goblins?
with that?
I feel like that's a broad question.
Yeah.
Every goblin I have ever met has tried to kill me except this one. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that's. I
I've
have
had a lot
no
of
idea
people
how.
try
Can
to
you
kill me,
ask
and
what
then
it
I've
want-
had a lot
what
of people not try
they
to kill
would
me,
do in
so-
return.
Well,
For
what do
helping the
they
chief?
want us to do?
So, so you want us to help you, chief, get better? Yes.
If you can, yeah.
Okay. You do understand that we are a little suspicious of goblins because we usually get attacked by goblins.
Well, we usually get attacked by pinkies.
I'm just saying.
Touche.
Yes. There are some younger members of the war parties that are a little more aggressive.
We call them the Crips and the Bloods.
What was it that was taken back? Just out of curiosity.
Box something.
So I assume we see Goblin go.
Okay. I didn't think anyone did survive that. That's interesting.
If we have to give it back to him, I think that's a no-go.
What? Please forgive the time delay. I'm trying to translate everything. And, you know, we don't want to jump to
This is the
conclusions
world's
here.
most reasonable goblin.
Hey, if it goes wrong, we can always just go there, and if they betray us, we could always farm them for XP.
No, I got
You
that.
got that?
If that's part
That
of
was
the deal,
Brayden.
Oh, Brayden!
we can't give that back.
Well, obviously they
Did they
don't.
steal it?
Yes.
Obviously they don't know we have it.
Well, also, do they want the box back?
We also don't have it.
Well, okay, that's easy enough. But apparently they just want us to help the chief, not to die.
Mizuki is going.
Ask
Yes.
them what they would.
Ask
Ask them what they would
right
do in
now?
exchange.
I'm asking Vanass if she should be helping the goblins.
All of our agents are currently busy at the moment.
Don't
You'll
do
be-
that. Gods are useless right now.
See me just kind of slowly.
Really? Is are
What's
you
the
going?
right thing
Are
to
you
do?
saying
What's
that?
the right
Yeah.
thing to do?
Well, she's going to totally ignore you.
Yes.
And continue praying.
Okay, fine. And I'm just gonna, like, while they're hashing stuff out, I'm just gonna follow where the footprints were.
Wait.
What?
Wait. Where are you going?
Like, if she doesn't get an answer,
They-
she's just
they
gonna
need
stop.
help.
But
Okay. Let's get a little bit more information about what exactly they need before you go off on your own.
Apparently they just need the chief to not die.
Can you ask them what's wrong with the chief?
His leg's gone.
Hey, Killian, what does a vial of cure-all do?
He's been dead for 2 weeks. We
Do
want to
you-
fix
do you
it.
ask? Is this Brayden or is this Milo?
This is Milo.
Would you ask?
What does a vial of cure-all do?
Fixes a lot of problems.
In what essence?
okay.
It's an antidote for every poison. It can cure almost any disease, and it will increase the ability of the person who takes it to heal more quickly, and will also help stabilize their wounds.
Mizuki is going to get up from her prayer and walk toward the goblin.
Please don't. Whatever you're gonna do, please wait.
Wait for what?
The finishing of
For the
transaction.
answer to my question, what's wrong with the chief?
Okay. First off, what do I call you? Do you have a name? Do they call you anything?
They,
4.
they didn't let me have a name.
No,
They just
we're
call
not
me
getting
Booyah.
this.
The return of Booyah!
Is that what you
Oh,
want
no.
to be called?
I don't understand.
Instead of saying, "Hey, you," in general, do you have a specific name that we can just associate?
I
you
mean, if you're looking at me when you say that, I know you're talking to me. I'll answer to
Okay.
that.
Goblin
But if
seems
there's
like a
other
really
goblins
inefficient
around
language
and
if it
want
takes this long
specifically
to ask
your
that question.
attention, we can just yell out to you your name.
Or
I mean,
whoever's gonna-
everyone calls me Booyah, so
Okay, we call you Booyah. If that's okay.
We already discussed
Specifically,
our
what
deficiencies
happened to the chief? How did he get hurt?
Yes.
Like, what does he need to be fixed from?
well, I haven't seen him, but I haven't seen him, so I don't know what's wrong with him.
Oh, they kept him out of the way and just
Yeah,
He just
Looking
never
over.
came back. He's just dead.
Come here, boy. You need to learn about life.
How do we know you're not going to attack us after we help?
if you help us, why would we attack you?
Again, previous encounters.
He just holds out his arm.
Okay. What?
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 I might need a translation for that one, mate.
Do you not, like, take Booyah as prisoner until you leave free?
I see. Okay.
And he's just standing there with the bird in one hand and one arm out.
Okay. He's saying, as a goodwill gesture, we could take him prisoner.
That is wonderful. That is not what I asked.
Yes. And with that, he doesn't know because I guess he's the young runt of the group.
No.
Yeah.
He went for it.
He is the young runt of the group, and they are not allowing him to actually see the chief.
Can I do a history check? Is there any ways?
So-
Oh wait, no. People did escape.
Okay, hang on.
But I don't know if
Tell him to wait a sec. All right, so you want to help him. What do you want to do?
Help achieve.
Okay, great. There was a 50-50 chance the answer from your whatever
Insight
was going to be
16.
Brad Bash's brains.
Insight 16.
They're living here, aren't
For
they?
what? What are you trying to?
Seeing if he's truthful in everything he's been saying.
They're living here.
16.
They have a right to that.
Remind me how you're familiar with goblins.
There was this one goblin exchange.
Back in my earlier days in Vegas.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, he seems a little slow compared to goblins that you've known, but he seems to be on the level.
Okay. From what I can tell, he believes he's telling the truth.
Cabbage, you want to weigh in on this?
I mean, I guess I'd kind of like to see both.
Well,
I would like to see both.
that pretty much settles it. Guess we're going to help. Woohoo. We'll go help.
I said, from what I can tell, he generally believes what he's saying.
It's four of us have decided we would like to help, so help we are.
Okay.
So who was the fourth? Oh, okay.
Okay. Booyah. No, that's fine. You can put your arm down. We have decided.
You've come to an agreement.
It was a close one, but we have decided we will help you, Chief.
Good.
Excellent. Now, if you understand, if we suspect anything wrong,
You're dead.
bad things might happen. I'm just saying, past experience, you know,
Okay.
you lead.
Okay. And he turns and he starts leading directly opposite the direction that you wanted to go, Killian.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, we might find some interesting stuff they've hoarded.
How is Zachariah responding to this?
Oh, I forgot
yeah.
he's with us.
He's actually just taking notes.
Oh. A scholar.
Looks kind of fascinating.
Does it look like he understood what the goblin was saying?
No, not even a
Am I
little
the
bit.
only one who's goblin?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you leave.
For the record, I think this is a bad idea.
I didn't say I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, what's
Duly
happening?
noted.
I would be upset with myself if we knew that there was somebody that needed help and then they died because we didn't help.
That's why she's the god of justice.
What?
Well, she's not the.
Not-
I don't
Okay.
want
The
Not
god of-
yet.
Okay. It's a great acceptable answer.
I'm confused at this, but okay. It's
I will.
okay.
I will walk directly behind
Okay.
the goblin lead.
So Booyah does lead you guys off the opposite direction. It doesn't take long, just a little over an hour or so. So you're still sort of middle of the afternoon, and you come around a curve in sort of the low spots where you where you've been walking, and it opens up a little bit into a very clear sort of depression in the ground. Cabbage, with your experience on the river, the shape is familiar. It's sort of an oxbow lake shape, and you can tell that it's sort of silted in and filled in. And you do see, sitting right there in the middle of what had to have been a lake at some point, an old riverboat, an old river barge. Very, very familiar to you. You can recognize it. The design of these things has not changed all that much over however many years this thing has been sitting here. There's a great big gaping hole in the side. The mast is toppled over away from you, so it's fallen across the top deck, sort of on the opposite side of the hull. And outside the hulk, there are several sort of mud hovels that have been built up around it. Off to the left, there are some fields that look like they've been sort of. There's stone walls around them, and it, oddly enough, it looks as though the goblins are trying to farm in the middle of winter. So there are like active furrows there. And then on the right side of sort of the main path up to the barge, there are a couple of animal paddocks, and they've got goats and they've got sheep sitting there. Everybody make me a perception check real quick.
Is there a name on the boat?
Not that you can see.
With advantage to those of you who have it.
A 15 for me and an unnatural 20 for Ingier.
So 15 and 21?
Unnatural 20.
Okay.
I got a 20.
I did not hear you say 15. I heard you say 50.
22?
Yeah.
Unnatural 20.
A natural 20?
Nice.
23.
23?
18.
Lance, would you roll for me? You could roll one of your die.
No, this is more fun. So that's gonna be like a 2.
Is that with the -2?
Yeah.
Do you need hand sanitizer now?
No, I think I'm good. I think I never actually physically touched the dice.
You sure?
Okay.
Because I think we have some over in the corner.
I think it's the same principle as a condom.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
All right. So
one to talk with two.
for everybody and everything except for Mal, as you're approaching this, for lack of a better word, village or settlement, you're recognizing that the goblins you're seeing are mostly women, children, and old goblins, relatively speaking.
So the good news is I feel a lot better about having to fight my way out of here. The bad news is I'm a lot more concerned about where all the other ones are.
I think we already know where the other ones are. Dead in the valley with where the tower was. I think we know what happened to all of them.
Could be.
Booyah.
Yes.
Who attacked you? Your people.
Well, no one attacked here.
No, but why? Like, who took back this box?
I don't know. Well, she wasn't a pinky.
Oh.
Was she white?
No, she was black.
Black.
It was a drow.
Well, yeah, I was a drow with obsidian skin.
Okay.
I have to clarify.
Sorry,
She
that was,
she only came once to here.
So she recruited.
What happened to all the males here?
They went with Chief, and only Chief came back.
I see. Okay. Now I will relay. Yeah, it seems they got attacked by the witch.
Well, yeah,
So
me and Simi witnessed what happened. So.
Yes.
So yeah, same person.
Well, I'm a lot less worried about us getting attacked.
Okay, well then let's fix the leader and go.
You know, if we tell them that we are also trying to hunt her down, maybe they can offer us
No.
some
For us
weapons or
what? They're
something,
goblins.
Also, we're not trying to hunt her down.
Well, they want to know
We're,
that.
if anything, we're trying to hide.
Castian, I don't know if you noticed, but they're trying to grow food in their fields in the middle of winter. I am not sure they have a lot to offer us.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. But yeah, what was your chief?
And he points to the boat.
Alright.
Okay, lead on.
All right, and he does. As you guys sort of pass into town, everyone, all of the goblins sort of stop and stare at you as you pass by.
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, none of them react to you.
They don't even react.
Okay.
Well, I mean, beyond just sort of watching.
Yep. Feel
So-
real welcome.
So he leads you right up to
mean, we don't
right
speak
up
the
to the
language.
opening in the hall. It does open up into the lower hold, and he leads you up the ladders, up the stairways to the second level, then
Those
up
are
to
worse than stairs.
then up to the main deck.
Well, actually, it's built for goblins, so you should be fine.
The
I
ship
don't
wasn't
think it
originally
is.
built for
It's a ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then up to the main deck, and then he leads you aft to what you, Cabbage, will recognize as what would have been the captain's cabin. Standing there, sort of at the door, with rough-hewn sort of spears at hand, look like a couple of ceremonial guards. They are the first goblins that you would sort of recognize as fighting goblins that you've seen. And Booyah walks right up to him and says, "I brought help." And they sort of look at you, and they look at each other. And they both reach over and grab the doors, double doors, and open them for you guys to walk in.
I will leave.
If this is an elaborate trap,
Yeah.
I am going to be so proud.
I think we're going in.
Yeah, we're going in.
Okay.
Yep. No quick, sudden movements.
So as you walk in, all of the glass has been broken out. Basically, there is where the captain's sort of table would have been in the center of the cabin. There's it's been cleared away, and there's a stone sort of fire pit that has been built up. There's a hole in the ceiling where the smoke sort of rises up out. There are a number of different goblins in the room. The one that catches your eyes first is he's not the biggest goblin in the room, but he's obviously the one that has the most respect from everyone else. He is lying across the captain's bunk, so like completely like 90 degrees from where he should be, and his feet are not dangling off at all. So he's sort of propped up a little bit on what's left of the pillows. They've kind of sort of, they haven't been fluffed in a while, and they're starting to smell pretty bad.
Oh, well, they are
In
goblins.
fact, the whole.
Does it smell bad like, hey, I haven't bathed in a while, or does it smell bad like I have an infection and now I'm getting gangrene?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B. And he's sort of sitting there, and because you are familiar with goblins, make me an insight check.
It's a 4.
And he is hit.
That is 11.
there's something off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So he's sitting there on the captain's bunk. There are a couple of... Best word you have for him is shaman. That are standing there next to him. They've got the whole rattlesticks and masks and feathers and the whole 9 yards going, and they're wafting smoke and incense over the chief. And then there is what looks to be a female goblin sort of standing right next to him, and a couple of smaller goblins, if it's even possible, sort of off to her side. And on the other side of the cabin, there are 3 sort of older looking goblins, 1 female and 2 males.
Have we encountered goblin spellcasters before?
We have...
Yes.
Felt like we had.
No.
No,
Not dying, right?
you
I don't
haven't.
think so.
Okay.
The only goblins... We only fought goblins once.
Yeah.
And that
It was around
was
the
when I fell in the pit.
Yeah.
And then we got
Yes.
ambushed.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was going to be real surprised if I had encountered goblin spellcasters before to see them wafting smoke at their... Heal! Be healed!
Alright, so what's the fastest way we can do this?
Well, who's good at medicine? Maybe you should examine.
Yeah, we should find out if the chief speaks common first.
Yes.
This is going to suck if he doesn't.
That is true.
Where does it hurt?
And I'm gonna. I guess I'll look at Booyah as a maybe approach the chief.
Maybe we have to wait until the ceremony is done.
What's the ceremony for?
They're trying to cleanse him from the whatever's wrong with him.
I see. Okay.
Is there a...
We
Can
have
I
to wait
make
until the
a-
dancing.
Can I... What check would I have
How
to
long is
make?
that going to
Yeah.
take?
For what?
The estimated time? How long?
So Booyah's actually not. He's very pointedly not looking at the chief.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard to. I don't know. I don't know how far they are.
Fair enough.
Well, and
What check do I have to do to see if this is even an alive goblin?
Medicine
Or if they are
Make a
just,
medicine
or
check.
if they are just trying to bring
Can I
back
make
a
a medicine
corpse.
check? Okay.
9. I don't know why I bothered. I just like to be
You're
helpful.
trying to raise the dead.
Yeah, like is this just a dead ass goblin that they're trying to believe
14,
to be alive?
22.
22,
19.
It works
19.
for the orcs.
Okay,
It's true.
you
Yeah,
can't.
no,
You can't
there's-
tell.
yeah.
For the rest of you, he is actually breathing. I mean, he's laying there with his eyes closed, but he is actually breathing.
Well, he's at least alive.
For now. How seriously am I worried that if we wait for their little ceremony to be done, he's going to be dead?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not in great health,
Right.
but it doesn't feel like he's
I'm not worried about him expiring in the next,
right.
12 hours.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And then the goblin curdles, and it gets nasty.
Curdle Goblin is a terrible,
Yeah.
terrible thing.
Yeah.
Can you just
So it's
do a little
regular
magic
goblin.
thing to?
Well, I
Or
have
even
to know what the
worse.
problem is first, and I'd have to approach the chieftain that they're currently wafting.
Alright, so like how much
We
trouble
can
would I
wait.
get in if I just go shove our way in?
We
I
should.
feel
We
like
should.
Pretty sure they'll
I
attack you.
don't think this is
I
right.
feel like we should wait
Also,
until
also, it would
they're
be better for us to wait
done
because
with
I
their.
mean these are these people's customs. So, as it might
feel
be,
it
it is
would
still
be
their
best
customs.
Is there anything else in the room that strikes me as off?
I mean, besides the fact that goblins have inhabited an old
Yeah.
riverboat,
I mean, they had to live somewhere.
not really.
Have I noticed that the entire boat is a mimic?
Yeah, no.
Oh, nuts! Shut up! Shut up!
So no, nothing actually strikes you as sort of, I mean, any more unusual.
There's a chest in the hole we feed every month. We're running low on goblins to feed
Well,
it.
if things really get bad, though, this might be a possible place to hide out. So, and they won't kill us.
Fair.
We have to
Early
do something
warning
about the
system.
smell.
Oh, I definitely agree. We should camp outside. Everything should happen like that. But
I think I might have a bottle of perfume. I don't know.
So
Figure
there's
that out
a
later.
great flourish and sort of a very energetic rattling of the staffs, and the two shaman sort of come out of whatever
State.
spiritual state that they had put themselves in, and then they turn. They sort of stare at you menacingly, but they walk a wide berth around you and leave the room.
Oh no, they might shake their sticks at us.
I gotta stay too.
Mizuki is gonna go a little closer to the chief.
Okay.
Do you speak common?
So as you
Anyone?
so as Mizuki sort of approaches, a couple of the older goblins off to the side sort of rush between you and the chief, and he sort of raises up. He speaks out in Goblin. Let her approach. And he waves them off, and they look over their shoulder, and they look at each other, and then they take their place back in the line.
I've come to help.
We have come to help. The chief.
And Booyah translates,
I'm going to take that as a no to the comment.
and he just sort of nods at you weakly,
Here's
And-
that for
and-
knowing goblins.
and waves you forward.
Okay. So she'll go forward, and I guess do another medicine check.
Okay.
See what
Yeah.
goes.
Go ahead and make that medicine check.
You suffer from old.
What we know is the business is old.
Medicine check with the mace.
17.
17. Okay.
The mace of healing. Will heal.
Be healed!
So
7 points of healing damage.
So it looks like there's no like gashes or cuts or anything like that, but all along his left side, on his rib cage, there's a massive bruise. So for the goblin, it has turned like bright purple and red.
Yeah, your appendix is burst.
Internal bleeding.
And there's probably some broken ribs, and very definitely some internal bleeding happening. He is also running. He's warm, a lot warmer than you would have thought.
He's running a fever.
So you assume he's running a fever.
Okay.
And oddly enough, as you're sort of poking and prodding, there's something off. What is? His bones are actually soft and malleable.
Oh.
He got hit pretty hard.
Okay.
Pretty hard.
That's one way to put it.
Made his bones soft. It hit him so hard.
So what are we looking at?
Okay.
Bonitis. Sorry.
Oh, the bones
So-
just left his body.
What is that? Bone be gone or whatever from Harry Potter?
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, bone grow.
Bone grow.
Yeah, that regrows bones.
Right.
Outrageous spell.
What was the
Okay.
spell? What was the spell that?
It was a spell that was supposed to fix his broken bone that
Yeah.
just
And-
not
and
go
did
right.
not. Yeah.
Yes.
That got rid of the bone.
Didn't get.
Okay. So.
4 hours had passed.
Also, Chipper, you're not wrong about the DM writing that down.
I thought you were talking about the
So-
Viagra.
Put that on my shopping list. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Interesting.
Okay.
Good to know.
Stop it.
It happens.
Don't think too hard about it, Danny.
I thought you just. I have to stop. I have to stop. This is a joke.
1 in every 4.
You said you were eating
2,
M&Ms
3,
every
4.
time.
Sorry. It's somewhere here.
Ignore me. Ignore me. It's been a day.
Just enjoy the face.
No, stop it.
Well, I can speak with
Okay.
authority on 2 of the 5 men around the table.
Okay,
He has
will-
kids.
Oh.
That
And I know-
proves nothing. That proves nothing.
I
Just
will.
Adrian just had some performance issues, huh?
No.
Great.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
What?
Oh.
She will. Let's see.
No.
Cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
She's gonna cast it as. Let's see, a 2nd level.
2nd level. Okay.
Yeah, a 2nd level spell.
2d8 plus.
So
4.
2d8.
So go ahead and roll the healing.
Yeah, 2d8 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
Plus
Goblins have either a very low double digit or only like a single digit.
Yeah.
You heal him too much and he heaps.
Be one with the gods.
I remember when that used to be a thing that could happen.
Especially
Okay.
if you were,
points of.
heavenly realm is.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Get over
so as you
healing.
cast
Take
the
damage.
healing and as your healing magic sinks into him, you do see the bruise on his side heal back to a goblin-y green. You do also feel sort of with your hand on his side, you feel 3 or 4 clicks as ribs knit back together.
Okay.
Now they are still quite floppy, and his whole body is still very much sort of not rigid in the way you would expect it to be.
Okay. Let's see.
We'd have to have someone tell us that.
Yes. She
Does
will.
anyone know detect magic?
I know.
Because
detect
I
magic.
You don't know
don't.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Detect magic.
Sorry, we
I'm
know.
not a very good caster.
What?
I'm
Oh.
not a very good
Okay,
caster.
yeah.
You're adequate.
I should be.
Adequately fine.
I better be.
Oh,
Or we're in
Chipper.
trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, Chipper.
That was so bad. Okay.
So I'm gonna ask it one more time. What are we dealing with?
Something with his bones. They're not quite right.
What do you
Castian, can
mean?
you ask what happened?
Well, we already. Oh, actually,
We have no
I'm-
idea.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
can
need a lot
detect
more
magic, or I
specific-
can detect poison and disease.
well,
But
he
I'm
has
gonna need a
fever.
lot more specifics on bones aren't right.
they're not.
Make a perception check real quick.
They're soft. I
19.
don't know if that's normal.
Okay, so she's
Oh,
holding his arm sort of
why?
here,
And
and it's
That looks like a magic thing.
Okay, I'm
or
gonna-
really
I'm gonna
dangerous.
cast detect magic.
Okay. I'm gonna
There's nothing
detect
magical.
poison and disease.
okay. So it is It is a disease
Okay.
that is affecting him, and it has affected his. It's attacked his skeleton specifically,
Okay.
and has made his bones soft and malleable.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I can tell you it's not magic.
It's a disease.
Cool.
Okay.
So we put him out of his misery, or
No.
No. Let's see. I have.
Do you...
I have lesser restoration.
I can probably fix that.
You can
I
heal
have-
diseases?
I have.
Yeah.
What do I have? I have. I mean, I'm sure.
how long is that gonna take?
Yeah.
Not long.
Okay, let's do
Lesser
that then.
restoration? No. 'Cause it
So
won't heal
are
disease.
you gonna do it,
Lesser-
or do you want me to
Oh wait,
come
no,
fix
it will. Okay, no, I can do it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll do it. So I will cast Lesser Restoration for the disease that
All
was
right.
affected.
So you're holding his arm. It's sort of bowed over, and as you cast the spell, it straightens out, and
Ew.
you can feel the bones sort of hardening as it
Okay.
goes.
I really hope all his bones were in the right places before you did that.
That's why we healed him before we did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she'll step back.
All right, crisis averted, world saved.
So we can move on now?
I think so.
I feel like that's probably.
Alright,
That should.
then
Well,
let's keep...
So he sort of starts to, he sits up, and for you, knowing goblins, there is this look of almost wonder on his face.
Boy.
You get the sense that he very much
God now.
assumes that he was gonna die. The female goblin to his side sort of rushes in, wraps her arms around him, and hugs him.
Don't break his bones, we just healed him.
And the kids jump up on the bed next to him and hug him as well.
So
I feel good about this choice.
You want to let him know it's all good. He's fixed. We
We
know.
leave now?
Good deed done.
It's
Let's
done.
move on.
Chief, do you speak common?
Just a very little bit.
Stick with goblins, just stick with goblins.
I'm like taking half steps towards the door.
And I was a scout in my youth and watched the Pinkies in their town.
This is such an inefficient conversation. Oh, this language is terrible.
Okay.
No,
we
it's not. They're talking in Goblin. He asked him in Goblin if he speaks Goblin.
more or less we've healed you and we've fixed your bones.
And now we're
Thank
gone.
It was a disease that you had, and it should be good to go for now.
Thank you.
Another half step to the door.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions?
No.
No.
We're good.
Is there anything else you need?
No.
We don't know that he's asking that.
One moment here.
He pulls out a gun.
No
Roll
one,
initiative.
no one can know that the shamans didn't do this.
Our whole religious system will collapse.
You might need new shamans.
They just killed a shaman.
That's what happens when your magic doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
When you can't heal the chief, then you die.
Yeah. That is
All
what
the
happens.
time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All of the freaking time.
Yes.
If magic doesn't work, I use a blood sacrifice.
Exactly.
Nose goes. You are the blood sacrifice.
I'm like,
Another half step to the door.
He says something you don't really understand, to one of the older goblins.
Execute order.
66.
One of the
All three
one of
of
the
the
goblins that are standing off to the other side. Bring the jar.
Wait. Is there a slot in it?
And one of
It's your
them.
mayonnaise.
One of them. Are you sure? Bring the jar.
Bring the jar.
And that the one that spoke turns, leaves the cabin at a run, and you hear the goblin feet sort of padding all the way forward on the boat.
What's happening?
What's going on?
He said, bring the jar. I'm guessing he wants to give us something for helping him.
Can you tell him that's not necessary and can we just leave?
What kind of jar is it?
I don't know.
And he's back, and the jar is almost as big as he is. And he brings it over, and he hands it to you.
I'm not carrying that.
How heavy is it?
For you, not too bad. I mean,
Is it like
it's
the size of like a...
it's awkward. It's like a big
5-gallon
amphora.
bucket?
No, well, it's like a big like Greek amphora, sort of a clay jar, great big.
Pickle jar.
Yeah, basically.
Is it open or is there a lid on it?
There's a lid on it.
Okay, I'm gonna...
X-Nay, let's go A.
What is
Identify it later A.
A token of my thanks and something that will help you in your travels.
Do you mind if I open it now?
Go for it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, is now really the time to open the strange goblin jar?
It'd be very rude not to.
We could have Mizuki identify it.
Alright, whatever.
Yeah. I can identify.
Oh, I still have detect magic going. Is this a magic?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what that does?
He said it'll help us on our journey.
So that's a lot of magic. That's a
How about
lot of magic
How
coming out
about
of that
tonight
jar.
They've
when
been
we...
truthful so far.
Yes.
Okay.
But how about when we get to camp tonight, we can have
You're the goblin
Mizuki
expert.
identify it.
Just let this end.
Because you never know, it could just...
Hey, expert on magical items. I'm gonna look over to Akai. What you got?
Oh, I thought she
Wait, I
meant
thought
me.
that was supposed to be you.
I thought she meant me.
I thought that was supposed to be you.
Oh, wait.
He was supposed to be people, right?
Yeah.
Hey, expert
Then I
on
haven't
magical
gotten that far in the
items.
program,
No.
have I? Dang it.
All right, you're the expert on goblins. If you think we have to open it in front of them,
okay.
It's full of sand.
Are you quite alright?
Viagra just kicked in.
I was attempting to laugh, but I couldn't find the right gear.
Brandon, don't clip that. I'm gonna be so sad.
What's the
I'm clipping it right now.
7:46.
It's sand.
Yeah.
How is that going to help?
Well, I mean, you don't leave it in the jar.
What does it do?
good lord, take it out.
Throw it on the tube.
Stick your hand in it.
It becomes a guardian to help you.
Ooh.
Oh.
Before you take anything out of the jar, I'm just gonna remind you that's a lot of magic.
Yeah, don't take it out.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I'll put the thing back on.
Figure it
Okay.
out
Later.
We will be on our
Later.
way.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And he sort of bows to you.
I'm gonna do the same gesture that I see.
I'll take my hat.
Mizuki will.
I suppose we have to give Booyah a name now.
Is that on it, man?
Let them decide if we shall leave.
Yeah, you are the only one who caught that as the rest of you are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, did good.
But you
Is
did
that really
good.
his name?
So number 5 there, just so you know, on the bottom lip.
Cool.
Is the you have to pull it like the whole thing out?
Yeah.
Does it return to the jar afterwards?
Guess we'll find
Guess
out.
we'll find out.
Keith,
I can find.
as we are leaving,
Yeah,
so they've got these fields that they're trying to grow in, right?
yeah.
What time of day is it?
Oh, you're one of those kind of paladins.
It's middle of the afternoon.
Okay. How are they... I mean, it's obvious that what they're doing isn't working.
Right.
Does it look like they've ever managed to grow things in these fields?
You gonna teach them how to farm?
Make me a survival check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20? Yeah, so it looks like when they do it in the right season, yes. But
It's winter, so.
but it's winter, and it doesn't look
That's-
like it's connected with them that sometimes of the year
Does it...
doesn't
Nice.
work.
These are snow
Does
carrots.
it look like... Do I think that they're wasting their seed doing it like this?
This crop, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's
are
a
there,
biblical transgression.
Yep. Are there? Is there any goblins out there like that look like they're the people in charge of the field?
There are a couple of there's a couple of goblins that are they've got a rudimentary plow hooked up to a team of goats, so it's like 3 goats strong, and one of them's at the front leading the goats, and one of them's at the back guiding the plow, and they're trying to plow the fields.
You guys go ahead. I'll be there in a minute.
I'll
We've
help.
waited this long. What are you
Why?
doing?
Castian, I need you to come with me over to the
Oh
goblins.
my goodness.
I know. I need your help.
What?
I'm gonna go explain to the goblins that you can't plant in winter and that doing it is wasting their seed.
Eh.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess any idiot would know that, but goblins aren't
Mm-hmm.
that bright, so fair enough.
And I need your goblin speaking skills.
You need me?
I need you.
Oh baby, oh baby.
Would you please help me?
Oh, very well. We're already here, so.
Gonna go over to the goblins with the plow.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave and say in Goblin. I'll say, excuse me.
And so they actually stop. And the goats are just kind of sitting there.
We might be able to help you with your crops to get more production out of it.
Just don't do it in winter.
Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, jeez.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, for him.
That's a 3.
So as you're standing there, talking to this goblin, and the goats, and the other goblin, and Killian, they all burst into flames,
Oh, jeez.
and turn to ash and blow away in the wind.
Oh man.
But we've done all we can.
Oh. And it stays that way. It doesn't go back to normal.
As far as you can tell,
Killian too.
Killian too.
Everybody's gone.
Everybody's gone. You are standing in the middle of the remains of a goblin town by yourself.
Killian?
Yeah.
Do I hear him or not?
No.
What's he doing? He looks lost.
Cassian?
Stand.
Do I see any magical effects on him that aren't
Nope.
normal?
Nope.
Killian?
Actually going crazy.
He's
Yeah.
he's right
I'm
there.
gonna reach out and touch him on the
Cabbage?
shoulder.
Cassian?
So you feel something touch your shoulder. There is nothing there.
God?
touched by an angel.
Lance is a lot of things. Angel might be a stretch.
Keith, I would like to dump my 5 points of healing hands to heal any disease or poison that is afflicting him.
Okay.
Do with that what you will.
It has no effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Casting.
Am I gone to him as well?
Mhm.
I'm gonna walk around the field and I might look back into the boat and.
So when you start walking around, I'm gonna like
So
grab
so,
your
so as you start to
totally
try and
pulling
walk,
back.
something grabs you and holds you, and you can't move.
I'm gonna fight it and.
Hey.
Nope.
Guys!
Just a really light slap back and forth.
Is going.
I'm not nearly drunk enough for this.
I'm very
Mountain
tempted to
Dew.
pull out my dagger.
Mountain Dew.
She's gonna use command.
Okay.
Sorry.
Feel not crazy.
Well, it's
Where's
only
my dagger?
simple
My D4.
things.
This is a real bad time.
I think it's only single words.
Yeah, it's like.
Stop.
Collaborate.
Yeah, like stuff.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Chill.
It's so
I'm gonna start to pull out my dagger.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Backing
Okay.
up.
So he's going for his dagger. He's pulling his dagger. And let's hold there for a
Okay,
second while Mizuki does her thing.
Oh, this is tempting.
What's that?
Okay, no,
I'm getting ready
this
to
is
grapple
really
him.
tempting.
Not
To, okay,
Good night. Good night, poser.
Nice.
okay, she's going to, so she's gonna cast command and
Okay. What's
say
the command?
halt. So, no move and takes no actions.
Okay. So you're gonna say halt.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're.
Magic.
So
I think
Yeah.
it specifies a creature that can hear you.
It might.
So make me
No. Oh wait.
make me a perception check.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't specify?
It does not specify that it has to hear me. It has no effect. I have to see them.
Don't they
They
have to
have-
be able to understand you?
They have to understand my language,
Okay.
and it can't be harmful.
Okay.
So,
Make the perception check. This will determine whether he can understand your language at the moment.
Nat 20.
So there's this sort of whispery voice in the back of your head. It almost sounds like Mizuki, and she says, "Halt." So you sort of stop mid-draw of your dagger, and you just kind of freeze there for a second.
Yeah, commoner. Halt.
And so the rest of you do see him sort of half draw his dagger, and then stop as the spell takes effect.
I think it's time to get him away from people.
Probably.
You want me to take care of this?
Just backs me up.
I'm sorry, do you have a way to take care of this?
Well, I have a way to communicate with him.
Give it a
With
shot.
her dagger about to just knock him out.
You hear dial tone in your head. And I begin communicating with him through Ingir.
Okay.
Just let her
So
die.
so what are you saying?
Castian, what can you see right now? This is Milo.
Where are you? I don't see anyone.
Oh, good.
Apparently we're invisible to you.
Everyone turned to ash and just drifted away.
Oh,
That might be an illusion, but if I was dead, I couldn't talk to you.
Did you get
Should've
promoted to
opened the
God
jar.
too?
No, none of us are dead.
yet.
All standing right here.
We're all standing right in front of you. Put
Or the eye.
your
Well-
hands out in front of you.
We do want him to be able to see us eventually.
Between one blink and another, as you're holding your dagger out, everyone's back.
Ah!
There you go. There,
Hi
okay.
there.
See, I got it to work.
You all right?
I'm taking credit for this.
Welcome back.
That was a thing that just happened.
Okay,
We'll need
moving
to
on now.
The
yes,
goblins are over
that.
there like.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that was odd.
That's a word for it.
How are you feeling, Castian?
Everybody just kind of went up in flames and.
I'm just gonna throw something at Mouse. Stop it.
Finish telling the goblins not to plant in winter.
Oh yeah. I'll turn back to the goblin. What do they look like?
They're just kind of they're just standing there, trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
That's fair.
Okay, so in goblin, like, oh my sincerest apologies. My friend here is expert gardener, and he says don't plant seeds in winter.
Oh,
Tell them to plant extra in the spring and summer and keep it in the winter.
So plant more in the spring when after the snow melts and it warms
They could salt it.
into the
Keep it
summer.
better.
I don't think they'll understand.
Plant
that part.
extra to stock up for the winter.
oh,
I guess they might
yeah.
like the
And
tradition.
they start sort of talking back and forth to each other about
And while
that whole thing.
while you're discussing this with him, I'm gonna slip that jar out of his arms and put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
You just take it.
You know, like as you're talking, I'm like, oh here, let me hold that for you, and into the bag of holding it goes.
Okay.
Fair.
Fair enough.
My name is on it.
Your name can be on it.
All right. So it sounds as though they are sort of
I'm the one
talking about what the information you have imparted, and
You're not wrong.
after a couple of minutes, they sort of reach a
Almost nothing.
consensus, and they take the plow out of the ground and turn the goats and head them back towards one of the paddocks.
Just so you know, it may be a little difficult this year, but next year you'll be on the right path.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
This is why you
Time
should
to
speak
go.
goblin.
Sure.
Is it? Never mind.
And we leave.
I feel like this is the reason we shouldn't have been able to speak Goblin. Let's go.
Some hero
So you're
you
just
are.
like, yeah, aren't you supposed to be looking for heroic deeds to do or something?
I couldn't understand them. I don't feel like we've actually done much good except potentially telling them not to plant in winter.
We all
And we're getting further and further behind the people who might be trying to end the world.
It's only a day.
There's a little goblin family that's a lot happier.
Indeed.
You see those kids?
So let's move twice as fast and cover some ground so that you're not as grumpy.
Easier said than done. You all walk faster than I do.
See,
Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah, come on, keep up.
Wow, why are you throwing
You're
shade?
volunteering to carry him.
What's that?
Are you volunteering to carry him?
Probably could.
You may need to.
No.
How else are you going to keep up with us?
Well, I can shadow step to keep up, but it's taxing.
Yeah, so what are you going to do if we go double speed?
I will have to actually 30, 60. So you guys go 60 at double speed. So I would
Some of
be
us.
doing 25, 50, and then 30. So I could keep up.
Yeah, be ready to carry him just in case.
No, I mean I can keep up.
Uh-huh.
Logistically speaking, I can keep
Uh-huh.
up.
Anyway, so I guess we're continuing on our way now that
Alright.
we've helped the goblins.
So you guys do double back. So you sort of reach the spot
And
where
I'm no
you...
longer going to worry about staying in the...
Okay.
I know what that was now.
All right, so you're able to cut across cross country, up over hills, down into valleys, and you sort of make up for the side track and make up some time.
happier now?
Somewhat.
Oh my gosh.
And now we got a jar of dirt.
You're just a negative Nancy.
It's been a long day.
You need a drink.
Right.
We just started our
If
day.
you woke up real
See,
cranky.
why is everybody else okay with this when it's me? It's not okay.
Because everyone else can handle their alcohol better than you.
I don't say anything against you.
Have you ever seen me just like really
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't
You
been here as
can't
long.
talk when you have that much to drink?
And when was the last time you saw me drink that much? Or at all?
It's been a while, but
actually,
I also
I know,
you
mine.
kind of vanished for a very long time, so I feel like that's not a fair question to ask because you could have been plastered off
I
your
can
butt this
promise
entire
you
time.
that there was no alcohol involved that entire time.
I just keep on moving, but I'm kind of like sour about it. Somebody else can have 8 drinks, but no. Give Simmy one, no.
No, not the alcoholic.
Because 8 drinks doesn't make you an alcoholic at all, no. I mean, I guess technically not in one individual, like.
The difference is he can stop after 8.
But can he stop after 6?
No, it has to be after 8.
It's 8 somewhere.
At some point, I will also talk to Castian, but not until he returns from his
Yeah.
tree trip.
All right. So you make up a little bit of time. You're making double time to put some more distance on to make up for the side trip. You're going straight instead of curling around,
Yep.
so you're back up to your regular sort of pace. And by the end of the day, you find yourselves sort of at the foot of this final, this hill that you've been using as your waypoint. It's just empty, just empty wilderness from what you can see. Nothing terribly interesting really around. As you guys find a spot and set up camp. It's not hard. It's basically grassland at the foot of a hill.
I'll take first watch.
I'll take third watch.
I'll take second, and Castian's coming with me.
Castian, you're on second watch, apparently.
What?
We're setting up camp.
Cabbage has spoken.
The foot is down, huh?
Also, Mizuki will
Listen,
I'll be on
Killian.
third watch.
Third watch.
about
Okay.
The jar, so she can identify it.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get it out, and I'll hand it to you.
So she'll
I'm
cast
guessing this
identify
part is probably
Okay.
just like
on that jar.
around the campfire towards
So you're doing that during first watch,
the
or
probably
yeah.
just do it during
Probably
dinner.
just
While
yeah,
we're
like while we're
settling.
setting up. Yeah.
okay, while you're
Yeah.
setting up camp.
That way.
Okay.
It just takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, it just takes 10 minutes. So.
So it's a jar of brown sand.
Okay.
When it's poured out, when the contents are poured out onto the ground, the sand transforms itself into a feral bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
A sand bear.
A sand bear.
Yeah.
feral against everyone?
Feral.
Just
Or
feral.
just, okay. That's,
You get the sense it will probably act as you get the sense it will probably act as a guardian for whoever
For
pours
whoever pours.
for whatever
okay.
pours
Okay.
the sand out.
Alright.
do you have to be attuned to it?
No.
No.
Okay.
So I'm not even gonna bother waiting for watches or anything like that. Although I will keep watch with you. I'm gonna look over at Castian and be like, "So about today,
Yeah, we did a good thing today.
wasn't what I meant. I mean, yeah, we did a good thing. I think we did the right thing, and that matters. But
I mean, normally I would skip over, it's like not my problem, but yeah,
about that whole thing where you somehow or another just like didn't see any of us. What was that?
Absentee seizure.
It was strange. The other night, I even had a dream about it. It was, yeah, in my dream, like everyone just turned to ash, like up in flames. It just kind of disappeared, and that's really weird. And then it actually happened, but it didn't happen. So I guess we're good.
As the resident lunatic, I feel like we're probably not good. I feel like that's probably not a good sign when you're seeing things or not seeing things when they're there. Seeing things that aren't there, or you get what I mean. I'm not good at words all the times. Yeah, I'm not always good at this.
Not seeing things that are supposed to be there.
I think that if some weird thing like that happens in the future, maybe don't draw your knife right away.
Well, something was holding me, so I mean, I didn't know what it was.
If all of us vanish into a puff of nothing, and then you feel something holding you, maybe don't stab it immediately.
Well, I was thinking maybe it was one of the gods playing a trick on me or something like that. I don't know. But I'm still new to this god thing.
To this god thing?
Yeah, like gods actually interacting with people.
Oh, you think this is a god thing?
I have no idea, but
fair enough.
I mean, from what I saw, it seems like something that only they could do. Because
if that's the case, I feel like maybe reorganizing your alignment with the god might be in order, because clearly they're messing with your head in a not great way.
I could do that, but
Would
I also
you like me to say a prayer for you?
well, I really don't have all that much respect for gods because they seem pretty useless.
I'm sure that's helping your
And
case.
all they do is just cause trouble for us.
Maybe, seeing as you're being influenced by him, you shouldn't say that loudly, or the one that is influencing you might
Out of the clear
slap you
blue
in the
sky,
face.
out of the clear blue sky,
Lightning.
there's a fork of lightning that sort of runs from horizon to horizon.
Yeah, that
That respect
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
noticing
pee on the statues.
Yeah, I'm noticing a recurring theme in your characters in D&D. They frequently get struck by lightning by God. Yeah, maybe be a little bit more cautious with the.
I'm just saying, if they're doing the job they're supposed to be doing.
And you deem yourself to know what job the gods are supposed to be doing?
Well, in his defense, at the moment, none of them know what they're doing.
I'm not certain about that, but
Well, I mean, from what Killian said, without balance, none of them can, properly do what they were supposed to be doing. Because they're all bickering and arguing with each other.
Exactly, like children. Honestly, I think they need to be replaced. Someone who could do better than them.
Well, seeing as you have missed the entire, idea of you were a liability to everyone's health and safety earlier today, if you suddenly space cadet, which I guess on your end would mean if suddenly you don't see us anymore and you feel this on your forehead, that's me. If you stab me, I'm going to be incredibly upset with you. But if you feel that, I'm probably about to in some way incapacitate your ability to harm us.
See, but now I'm starting to question, is any of this real?
Cassian's about to have an existential crisis.
And I just said that to a person who's already been stuck in her own existential crisis for months. He just got.
I'm
She
going
looks
to
over and is
fervently
like,
pray for you tonight, Castian.
You gonna pray for a commoner?
Yes, I will.
she's polite like that.
Well, I'm going to bed.
Me too. That.
Also, I'll join
That
for
wasn't
second.
awkward.
What's
I'll
that?
join for second watch.
Okay.
Who's
Oh,
taking first
oh,
watch?
First
All three of
watch?
us
I'll
on?
take
Yeah.
first watch with you.
So 3 of us on second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get back up on second.
All right. So first watch.
First
Do I still have advantage?
No.
no.
No. At this point, it will have worn off.
Well, so did her dice.
Oh, balls.
19.
19.
15. I mean,
15?
it could have been worse.
From up in the hills, you do hear the sound of sounds like wolves howling, but they're not close and they don't seem to be coming closer. Other than that, the watch is relatively quiet.
I'll kind of sit there and sketch some things out as I'm watching and listening and all of that jazz. Just writing in my journal and kind of checking in occasionally with Mizu, but I'm awkward and I don't know what to say. So it's kind of, I'm just like one of those, how are you doing with all of this sort of things? I mean, a couple of days ago you were kind of sort of engaged, and now there's all this stuff, and I don't know. How are you doing?
I'm still engaged. My fiance is missing. Technically, I'm still engaged. Fiance is missing.
Okay.
I'm not really sure
Is that a bad thing?
where he ran off to, or if I'll ever see him again. It might be okay.
I take it you're pretty comfortable with this, since I feel like we all agree that he's kind of a terrible person, right?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose, but
I will never understand, like, high society ways, the things that you guys put up with, just because that's what you do. I don't get it. But,
no.
yeah, that
It is very complex, and
It's not something
there are many
really common
layers.
to understand.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, you could. You should just be like, that's accurate.
You didn't insult her god, so
She wouldn't consider it an insult, though. She'd just be like, yeah, you're right, I wouldn't understand. Like, this is far beyond my my scope.
But it's all very confusing.
I can at
But
least appreciate
perhaps-
confusing. I'll look over at Akarai. Look back. Get that.
I mean,
Get that.
perhaps Lars didn't have the best influences in his life.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably safe to say. That's fair. That's fair. But you identify you couldn't fix that, right?
Fix what?
The never mind. Fix Lars and his lack of being a good person because of not enough good influences in life. Bad at wording.
No, I don't. You can't change
Okay.
where you come from,
Yeah, just making sure we
Or
were on
your
the same page
family.
there.
even if they try to kill you.
Wait, we're talking about Lars here, right?
Well, I mean, Lars, tried to kill, or maybe. Well, anyway, who knows?
Okay.
Lars, or yeah.
Just making sure I wasn't missing another murder
I mean-
plot, because
Milo's family tried to,
yeah, that's messy too.
yeah, it is. It's very messy. Like I said, it's a messy, complicated weird thing.
It's not like your family has sent challenges to kill my family before. No, it's not happened before. It's been back and forth. I'm not there, but that's Brayden. That's Brayden defending Milo.
Kill your family.
Yes,
You
they
kill ours.
They hired
Just fun.
an assassin,
Except for that.
but they messed up, so...
Oh dear. Okay. But that's not something you actually said. So.
No. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I hope my family is okay. They might not be okay.
Have you messaged them yet?
Message. Oh, you mean? Yeah, I've written them a message. Yes.
Well, your weird little brain magic thing you do.
I don't have. Oh, sending.
Sure.
Sending.
Have you used your magical skills to contact your family?
Not as of yet.
I feel like you should before you go to bed.
I will consider that. Thank you for the suggestions.
You're welcome. She'll go back to kind of like looking over at Arcane Eye, writing in her book, doing a lap around the writing angsty poems. Probably.
Yeah.
Seems like her way to go. Do a lap around
Okay,
to watch and then
maybe
come back.
Mizuki is gonna send to her family now. 'Cause
Ooh.
I know she's got a brain magic thing, so it's like.
Okay.
Okay.
So who are you sending to?
She will send to her mother.
Okay.
Mama. Do you shoot, let's see. Sorry, like she has to think about. Okay, let's see, what's she gonna say? Let's see. Vinas.
Has given me no ability.
Plus, let's see. Vinas plus me to speak to your mind.
New phone Hootis.
Yep.
Yes.
New phone Buddhist. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's gonna go crazy.
Are you okay? I received a coded message.
Goblin sound effects. From the bushes.
He's a very cute goblin.
He's the cutest goblin.
Father and I are safe.
That's not a good start.
Left the homes. Left the province on business pretense. Keep yourself safe. Lars will try to use you.
Shocker.
And that's her 20.
Okay.
It's 25 technically. But
Well,
Yeah, that's fine. But that's fine.
Color me surprised.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. She'll continue. Oh, also she'll probably have like some extensive prayers to Vinas
okay.
to see about Castian.
And while she's
Say-
doing that, I'm just gonna like watch guard
just-
over her.
Like, ask if. Oh well, she'll keep her eyes open.
Okay.
She won't like.
Oh,
she
okay,
won't
gotcha,
be like,
gotcha,
mad,
gotcha.
but she'll
Just-
be. Let's see. She will ask. If he knows what's happening with Castian, if it's an influence of one of the other gods
Okay.
or something else.
Don't you dare heal me.
Dare you.
What, you don't want me to heal you now?
So you do get a sense that your prayers are sort of queuing up. They're in the queue, but
Wheel of
they're-
death.
You
There are
are
2
currently-
prayers ahead.
Yeah.
we're sorry. All of our operators are busy. Your call is very important to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are
Um,
currently
Your prayer
5 in the
Your
queue.
prayer is very important to us.
So you get a sense that it's getting through, but you're not getting a response back.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So at the watch transition, you wake up second watch and you go and crawl into your bedroll, and as you slip your feet all the way in, you feel a little scroll of parchment all the way down at the foot of your bedroll.
Oh, I was thinking bugs, but
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you feel a snake.
Snake.
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Winter.
she will,
The magic
I guess,
scorpion. magic
readjust
snake.
her bedroll so she can grab this scroll.
Okay. So you grab it and you pull it out and you unroll it.
Okay.
And it's a very familiar feminine hand. That was real sweet what you did for the goblin chief. F.
You have a really sweet stalker. But I guess we also have backups, so I don't know how I feel about this.
Don't know if I'd call that backup.
More like a booty call.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
You up?
Was just in the area, thought I'd hit you.
No,
Oh.
it's not okay.
I have had no booty call, thank you very much.
He was in your bed.
It was in your bed. There was no booty
Yeah.
call. There was no call. He just showed up and then I kicked him out. And he thudded
Yes,
on
but
the
you don't
floor.
know. Nothing.
She just wants to have the option open. That's why she keeps convincing Ackroyd to stay with us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, she will tuck that into her.
That's exactly
Yeah, her. I guess, like, it'd be a yukata. So she'd tuck that into her yukata, and then, her face is probably very red at this point. But there's no one to see.
So Danny, and whoever's on second watch, make insight checks.
Oh, are you on second
I
watch
was
too?
on
You're
second
taking a watch.
I am taking a watch.
That'd be an 11 because
So that's
fire
a no.
dice.
15.
That's why.
Do I reckon? Do I?
Yes.
16.
Yes.
22.
Yes. Mizuki is blushing like bright red.
You okay over there?
Yes?
All right.
Oh, I'm just a little warm.
I'm fine.
In the snow.
Oh, no kidding. But
Tree's on.
you sure you're doing all right?
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm tired.
Aren't we all tired? It was a long day.
Cabbage, Mizuki, your Natalie, and Kyrie are
Same.
All right. Well.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, just
If you need to talk about something, I'm sure Simi's available.
I would like to give you inspiration for that.
Talk to somebody. I'm sure someone else can help you.
I'm sure someone else is happy to help you.
I'm positive the most socially awkward person here is exactly who you should talk to.
Oh man, I have the highest charisma. That's not good.
Well, I think I'm pretty close.
Alright.
How much do you have?
Charisma, mine's at 14.
20.
Well, a second.
That tracks.
Like I said, the only thing good I can do is talk.
Right? Yes.
But Brayden can't talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just. Well, anyway, earlier I did
Huh?
I learned some things, so I'm just processing.
Is this what
She's
it
coming
looks
into
like?
womanhood.
What are these feelings?
Oh, I
Had to
just. My parents are safe.
Oh,
Oh,
So-
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
why'd that make you blush?
Because
I just.
Okay, Simi, if you are still awake, you can make a check to see if you recognize the blush.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I'm sure at least two
I
of us
just haven't
understand
heard
what that
from them.
means.
For a long time, and it made
Hey,
me
she's
feel
working
warm
on it.
inside.
Made me feel warm inside. Oh my god.
Keep a hold of that.
Okay. Well, you sleep well.
I'm just gonna cringe yourself away.
Sleep really well. I'm just gonna walk away.
People
Can I
think I'm the
make
weird
an
one.
insight?
What's that?
Can I make an insight check?
On who for what?
Simi,
Sure,
to see if she realized.
sure, if you wanna.
Okay, yes.
But I'm not being subtle because that's not a thing I can be ever.
16?
I'm not being subtle, so probably. Like I didn't even attempt to hide it.
Okay.
I was just like, oh, I get what this is. Who is it safe?
My parents are safe.
Good deflection.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Sure.
I'll be in my bunk.
I'll wander into wherever I have set my bedroll. Kind of curl up in a little ball.
Okay.
Second
All right. Second watch.
Steven, I'm on second, so you might wanna.
Oh, nice for me. Let's see what Ingir can do.
I don't think that's cocked. That's not much better.
18 for Milo and a
Nice.
21 for Ingir.
Nice.
Alright, cast you.
21.
Very good.
Oh, good. 11.
You're still cringing.
And so is
Yeah, you're just like too distracted.
the dice.
All you
go
can
like
think
what?
of is
Pass.
James.
Oh yeah, James.
Uh.
What happened to him?
He. Where was he the last time we
Where was
saw
he?
him? He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the last time
He was somewhere else.
we saw him was with Mal at the caves.
That's right.
He went to the cave?
Yes, he did.
Did he die in that
Nope.
cave? Oh,
No.
nice. Alright.
All right. All right. So, you guys. I mean, aside from the baby noises, you guys spend a fairly quiet watch. The sounds of animals coming down out of the hills, out of the mountains, foraging around. Sort of, they keep a wide berth around you guys, but beyond that, you're not hearing or seeing much else.
Okay.
I'm gonna start carving on that block of wood I have with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna like sidle up over to Castian.
Hello.
So you okay?
I feel okay now.
But you did.
Yeah, I think Alma's death is kind of hitting me a little bit hard. Still haven't quite gotten over that yet.
Yeah. I'm really sorry.
Well, it is what it is. It's unfortunate that it happened the way it did. As far as things I may see or not see, I'm not sure.
Well, to make sure everything's above board, I was about to knock you out with the hilt of my dagger.
That's fair.
So I'm thinking that if this happens again, we come up with some sort of secret handshake or something, so that you know that we're here and that we're not all dead.
Well, that may not necessarily work. It depends on what happens. This time it was just everyone burst into flame and he couldn't see anyone, but who knows if that'll happen again.
Well, if I punch you in the arm really hard 3 times, one in the shoulder, and then one by your elbow, and then one on your this part of your arm.
Forearm?
Forearm.
That's a fair point, but like I said, I'm starting to question like what is real now. I mean, because when everyone busted up into flames, that seemed so real. That was my reality. So how do I know this is real?
Well, this reality better be real.
Fair point. And actually, I mean, if you were making this up, why would you make this up?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be making it up.
Exactly. I'm just saying, I'm not the right person to be talking about this stuff to. But you're my friend. I care. So, if it happens again, you start waving around saying, "Where is everybody?" I'm gonna punch you in the arm 3 times. And then you'll know that we're all here. And it's okay. And if it doesn't calm you down, I will knock you out with my dagger. And
That's a fair point. I would do the same to yours.
Now that we've all established
Yeah,
that
we have
would
now
knock each other
established
out.
that we can turn on each other at a blink of an instant.
Non-lethal damage is okay.
Non-lethal damage is okay.
it's to keep you safe and to keep everybody else safe, because if you had actually drawn your dagger on Killian, he would have had to defend himself. I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Well, in all fairness, I might still be plotting his demise, but that's a different thing.
You should not.
I just don't like him.
I don't trust if you kill him, he might explode.
What?
That's fair.
What?
Above table, that's a fair. That is a fair
I mean,
concern.
I've seen powder that if you just tip it over, it'll catch on fire in his warehouse. Like, if like I don't know if him dying will like set off like a self-destruct button.
Killian's got a bomb on a dead man trigger.
Like, there's no way we can permanently figure out if that's a thing.
7.
That's what I did while I was gone. I had a bomb planted in my chest.
Your whole life was a lie. You just a walking bomb.
Walking automaton, but
Well, we want you to be okay.
Well, since we're being honest, this isn't exactly the first time.
That you've just seen everybody go up in flames?
No. Not like that.
This is the first time you've had
Kevin, you okay over there?
hallucinations?
Yeah, sorry.
Like hallucinations?
The goblin needs its diaper changed.
Well, one of the times we were traveling up the road, it was around the army. I was talking to, it was Mal actually, I think. And I thought I saw some ice mosquitoes.
The things that killed Alma.
Yeah.
Everything.
Do y'all not see those?
You can see
See
them
what?
now.
No, not mosquitoes.
What do you see now?
There's fire. Fire!
Yeah, there's no. Is there fire?
Castian, there's no fire.
There's fire surrounding us. We gotta wake everybody.
There's no fire.
Let's see what I have.
I'm gonna punch you in the arm.
Are you real?
Pinch you. I don't know how to fix this.
I'm gonna slowly get up and get to the edge of the fire. Do I feel heat?
No.
Okay.
How far away is he from me?
He's moved off about 15, 20 feet.
Okay.
You're not seeing this.
No. I'm gonna take the gem I have and I'm gonna trace a circle, the rune thing, and I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
See if that works.
It has no effect.
Okay.
You're just losing your mind.
Well, I figured I should check to see if it
That's-
maybe might have been a magical effect, but
I'm gonna pick up a stick and stick it in a fire. Does it light on fire?
It does not.
yeah, I don't think that's anything we can fix. I think this is.
Mad monkey disease.
I mean, as someone who has had it before in a past life, it could be.
I'm gonna look for a rock. A small rock, not something that will knock you out. Like a pebble sort of rock.
Okay.
Smoothest rock I can find.
Easy enough to find.
Okay. I think we need to figure out a way to ground you. So, I come with a family with lots and lots of kids, as you're
Yes, you
aware. Yeah, my parents, when any of us would be throwing tantrums, would try to help us ground ourselves, sort of bring yourself back to yourself. I had a rock at home that I would just sit and fiddle with if I got really upset. And some of my other siblings got a lot more upset, and they needed their little rocks, and sometimes they almost threw them, and sometimes we had to not make it a rock. Anyway, grounding. So, here's a rock.
So,
Maybe when you're not sure if things are real, just sort of focus on the rock. And maybe not even what it looks like, but what it feels like. It's something real, if that makes sense.
The rock is now on fire.
Is the fire still going?
everything is fire.
So make your wisdom saving throw.
Okay, that's a nat 20.
No.
Okay. But I swear, it seems so real. As real as this rock.
I mean, I saw you poking a stick towards something. The stick didn't catch on fire.
This time.
Try it. And we'll try to figure out
Can you
other
make a
things.
perception check?
Sure.
Because grief does things to people.
12.
He doesn't
And I
see
imagine
anything.
it's probably a bit harder for you than the rest of us.
well, having to tell our parents the son is dead. Yeah, it's a little difficult. Killian.
Yeah,
Do you say something
No.
about Killian there?
Yeah, I was there for that.
Not only that, I had to do it alone. So it was yes, it was very difficult.
I was there.
You weren't at the house?
Too.
Yeah, I was.
Were you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was too.
Yeah.
They were.
Well,
Sorry.
you were downstairs drunk
Sorry.
off of your.
Okay, now that's fair. Yeah.
But I was
not
there. I
used
was
to
Oh,
there.
that's right.
I was there with
Okay,
you.
player.
I was
Yeah.
there.
Didn't,
Yeah.
didn't remember.
I was physically present somewhere. in
Not
the
mentally.
building.
So and now we have, guards. Sometimes jumping down, interfering with us. Sometimes they ignore us. I mean, I just, it's hard to tell what's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a good answer.
Neither do I.
But
He's gonna be the god of justice someday.
you need to hang on to what you've got.
A lot.
Yeah. Draw a smiley face on it.
And thus, Cabbage creates the pet rock.
Yeah.
I sell them and become a millionaire.
I
Yep.
hold him, squeeze him, name him George.
Oh.
All good?
This is a new outfit. if that
Wardrobe
makes sense.
change. Wardrobe change, yeah.
It was that kind of.
There was a lot.
Oh.
Ooh.
And then as soon as I got him into this, he spit up all over himself.
Well, of course.
Well,
It's just wallowing in his face.
Oh,
you don't necessarily
babies.
need to look to gods for answers all the time either.
Well, I haven't in the past, but like I said, now that they seem to be interfering a lot more, while at the same time ignoring us, it's kind of weird. So I'm just
Well,
all
why do
kinds
you
of
need to change
confused.
what you've been doing past then? Why now do you need to look to gods for answers? You didn't need to in the past.
Because they're not doing their job, supposedly.
That doesn't make it our problem necessarily.
No?
Sorry.
Trying to eat.
Seems them not doing their jobs is making our life extremely more difficult.
My life has been extremely difficult for a while now.
Funny, that's the same amount of time they haven't been doing their job.
Coincidence? I think not. I mean, you just go on living and not try to take care of the root problem?
I mean, I've got my own problems I need to have to worry about fixing the problems of gods.
Isn't your mum sort of like a big part of the problem?
For most of my life, I was taught that Mom was God.
That's weird.
That is weird.
So might be having a crisis of faith, but I mean,
You might know better than anybody else. What's with this?
one of the previous empresses got shot at with an arrow, and she did that to block the arrow from going through her forehead. And so we do that in reverence of remembering the one empress who protected herself with her hand.
Oh, my religious education was not great.
Well, I can't say I had a hard childhood. I mean, that's too bad to say. But if I ever did something wrong, there was always this kid named Cooper who was basically my whipping boy. So anytime I did bad, the boy would get whipped, which made me feel bad. And look, I had a very complicated childhood.
They hit some other kid if you did something bad.
Yes.
Cabbage is like, teach me your ways.
I was like, why didn't I ever think of that?
So many of my siblings.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, as a kid, I wasn't the one getting whipped. But now, I know that it was bad for someone else to get whipped for something that I did. I can't say that for the rest of my brothers, but at least I learned.
That's really messed up, but I feel like you've come a long way.
Low bar.
Hello, Bob.
They all must die.
Is that for you? Oh. I got a thank you from the DM. I'll ask about that later. But, I mean...
We should be scared when the
I
demon
hope.
takes you.
So, yeah.
I hope that I hope this is real and not some made up reality, because I've gone through a lot. I've lost the only person I ever loved and cared about. I am no longer rich and living in poverty. No offense.
No, I meant the
Loving people or
nobody
living in
you
poverty?
care about anymore.
Well, Adrian was technically the only one.
I know it's way different. I'm just saying you've got other people you care about. I hope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo!
I'd be rolling an insight on that, puppy.
26. You're one of them, Cabbage.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted your monologue.
I'm sorry. It's one of those rich person things, just monologue.
Yes.
I know lots of people that weren't rich that did that anyway. I don't think it's a rich person thing. I just think you have people that are listening.
No, it's an even person thing.
Well, no, I'm going to use disguise self to return to the form of Milo.
Okay.
Long red hair, scrawny. I'm not a one. I have to do the Milo voice. I wasn't exactly, a powerful, built person. I mean, Lars isn't exactly fit, but at least he's built larger than most people, and Davum's built freaking like a mountain, and my other brother, but I mean, I didn't exactly was able to fend for myself in some cases, and physical sort of things. I got beat up by Davum a couple of times in combat, and Lars used to verbally abuse me in some cases, but I got a lot better at talking, so I was able to at least fight Lars in that case, and well,
That guy.
oh, well, Lars has always been the kind of person to be able to know what he wants in life and to be able to get it, more or less. Let me know if you catch it, because it's been bugging me.
Yeah, like a little gnat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I caught it.
So
I'm probably going to
you
inhale
guys,
shortly.
you guys are at least respect me in some cases.
What do you mean in some cases?
Well, I mean, I look like Adrian most of the time.
But we like you as Milo.
Well, you still,
not here.
but you still see Adrian every time you talk to me.
Don't worry then.
Fair. But as much as I hate to say this, you are in a real reality, not one that someone has made up, either in your mind or that. We just have to play with the cards we're dealt.
Just the irony of telling another player's D&D character that they are not in a world that was made by someone.
There are layers upon layers.
This game's getting real meta here, guys.
Yeah. So, let's just take it a day at a time then.
But will you let us know if you feel like you're losing your grip, so we can try to help you? Because we care about you, Castian.
I will do that.
Alright.
Sure, I'm losing it right now.
I still don't really trust myself, but I'll see what I can do.
Do you trust me?
I trust this version of you that is before me.
Well, alright, fair.
If you're a figment of my imagination, I trust you.
And I've never asked this question, but do you trust me? You're the first person I think that I've ever asked that question to.
I trust this version.
Well,
No.
Fair. Fair.
Milo, you didn't ask me, but I trust you.
That actually means a lot.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
You haven't tried to kill me, and you haven't ran off on us, so that's a good start.
To be fair, out of everyone, I fear you the most. I've seen you just like disappear and then stab a guy.
I'll even admit I did that. Whatever.
I have more inspiration.
Yeah, but at least
Could be scary.
no, I understand that you can do the same thing, but I was standing in front of the guy when it happened, and viscera and everything like messy. But
Of all of us, you're more scared of him.
well, I do have a little fear of killing, exploding, as I've said before.
Oh, is this it?
Or well, true, she can just snap at any time.
No, I mean, she could kill us all. Like, forget the drinking problem. She could just kill us. All of us, end it.
Yeah, we saw what she did to Akarai.
Well, it's not. And I have actually seen her beat a corpse to death. That was a thing that happened.
Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that.
That was like session 2.
Yep.
Yep.
That was Simi's second kill.
Fair.
Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. I just
Oh no, it's
not that
fine.
you're not, rightfully intimidated.
As long as you don't cross
Now
me, we'll
decided
be
we
good.
don't trust him.
Hoping to cross
No, I
you.
trust you. It's just that if I was going to be scared of anybody.
We trust this version of you.
If this is reality.
Well,
Third. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think we
Oh,
should
just
sit
let
there,
us know.
and I will
Very well.
dispel the disguise self and
Just
return
on
to.
topic, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Definitely no internal genetics.
Are you fine?
Existential crisis or cabbage.
Let's not get into that right now. We're talking about you.
Oh, deflecting.
No, this isn't about me. This is about you.
No, I think it's very much about you. I didn't see fire earlier.
Yeah, so you say. Okay.
Who you
say?
Oh, you.
Well,
I'm
technically,
very
I
much
didn't see
questioning my
fire. I
reality
didn't
right
see
now.
fire as well. So at least
Everyone's
2/3 of this
gaslighting him.
conversation have not seen fire.
I see fire.
Actually,
Are we on a-
question: are we right by? Is this the same hill or / mountain that?
No.
Okay. We never got back to that.
Nope.
No.
No.
Well, it's about time for third watch. We can talk
Yeah,
about it another time.
Yeah, we should get some sleep.
Probably a good idea. I'll turn back to Adrian.
All right. So third watch is Killian and.
Are you actually getting up for third watch?
Yes.
I thought you would have just set up an alarm and slept.
No, actually. Killian is getting up for third watch.
Okay.
Killian, would you like to have Inger assist you?
Sure.
Okay. All
Inger
right.
will join for third watch.
Go ahead and roll.
I'll roll for Inger.
15.
15.
-1.
Is it not fun? That's what Adrian was like. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay. Cool.
An alarm is up.
And alarm is up. Okay. All right. So for the vast majority of the watch, everything proceeds as it has previously. Fairly innocuous night. Little bit of animal movement around you, but not a lot, and it does seem to skirt even your alarm area as well. So they're keeping a wide berth from you, as you would expect.
Just as a side note, at the point in time when it seems like we are right in between, like when that weird twilight in between, dawn and
Okay.
I'm gonna say a little prayer to the god of balance again and try and
Okay.
reach out to him.
Okay. Prayer goes out. You do
Yep.
not receive
I
a
did
response.
not think I would.
Okay.
This sign is not connected.
And is that just an open thing?
What do you mean?
Like an open prayer?
Oh no, he
Internal?
just he just meditates at that point in time.
Okay. Any interaction or anything you guys need to do?
Mel's pretty quiet. He drinks a little bit, but he's pretty quiet.
Awkward.
Not a fan of goblins, I see.
Not particularly.
And that was it.
That's such cute. Gillian feels no need to say anything more.
Well, that's it for tonight.
Bro, watch.
Just bro watch.
We're kind of in a hurry. I am now
Sleep
like
faster.
probably wanted throughout the realm for trying to murder the crown prince.
Okay, so that's probably not true.
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure I have a
Okay.
high about you.
That is a crown prince who's probably wanted by his mother for murder, who has probably not gone back to town, and whose entire army ran away,
Right, but all he has to do is ride back to the capital, and
where he will be promptly executed by his mother.
we don't have. Who's going to report on him? Who would
Anyone who wants to stay in the good graces of the Empress. Also, she could just use magic to find him.
Possibly, but that's sort of
That's
against
not
the point.
possibly. That's definitely could.
If she decided she needed to, but if it was me, if I was, say, a soldier in the army, and I watched my crown prince with someone who was doing magic, I would keep my mouth shut.
Statistically, you might be one of the ones that are dead.
The soldiers, yeah, maybe. But if Lars goes back to the capital, he'll be outnumbered. He's not going back there. Not until he has a solution to his problem. I mean, there's a reason he came out into the middle of Bupkis nowhere. There's a reason he stayed in the middle of Bupkis nowhere. It's not like we're renowned for our luxuries and brothels.
Wasn't that because of Mizu?
No.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was part of them.
No,
But not-
that was because he tried to have his brother murdered and it didn't work.
See, that was not something that had been shared with me.
The more you know. Lars, I'm very confident, came here because he tried to have his brother assassinated and missed. Hit the person next to him. And Mom didn't like that. So he had to run very, very far away. And he came here to meet with Mizu in the hopes of using her as, I don't know, making an alliance with her family or something, because they might have supplied the assassin.
We'll go to Lance if you.
Okay.
Yep. So, no, I don't think that you're a wanted criminal for attacking him. I think you'll be fine.
Pull out another fifth.
That would go to Lance, basically.
No.
He downs it.
So you want me to pass this to Lance?
Yeah. I was just making sure that was something that was all right.
What?
Yes.
Ingir will, Mal, in your mind, Ingir will basically catch you up to speed.
He just like data dumps.
So anything that has happened in this campaign revolving around anything you need to know about Milo will happen. Except for a few things.
Need to know.
Need to know.
You just watch Mal start pouring a bigger and bigger drink.
So
When I do that.
you basically be caught up with Milo's memories of meeting with the Blue Flame Heart, the incident with the in the throne room, Milo's escape, everything that has happened with the party up until this point. So yeah. So anything Alma would have known, you are now aware of.
That Milo would also know.
That Milo would also know.
Everything?
What do you mean everything?
Is it like just I'm just curious if it's just a general rundown or is it
Just
like
the general rundown that all of you would probably know.
So he doesn't get any extra smut on the relationship.
So,
Those are
no,
saved away.
no Mizuki for Prisha.
Yeah, none of that.
No, none of that.
So now you're all
But
caught up.
I know.
Silly, no.
Welcome to the club.
Do you have t-shirts?
No, we
Our
just
tailor
all
died.
sort of have.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Too soon.
Yeah, he did.
Wow, good one.
Time stamp 905. Wow.
Sorry about that.
No, we all just developed some sort of unhealthy relationship with something, be it a substance, a deity, or cynicism. You know.
We already have that unhealthy relationship.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. So,
Welcome to the club.
you got the rest of this watch?
Sure.
Pass out.
Make me a constitution saving throw.
Those are both 18 plus 5, so 23.
Okay.
He'll drink.
Yeah,
and
so
he'll
it's
go
gonna
to
take
bed.
it's gonna take a while.
He's not drinking enough specifically to be inebriated. He's just drinking a bunch and then going to sleep.
Okay.
So as you're drinking, I'm just because you're like, I mean, on the bright side, you probably have the least problems you're dealing with out of everybody here.
Yep.
You are neither crazy nor destined to overthrow an empire. We don't have your ex-lover along for the ride.
I'm so glad.
You're not
Or-
engaged to a homicidal prince. Yeah, you and Cabbage pretty much got it.
Already died.
Yeah.
Although Volk may be dead at this point.
He's a tough man to kill.
Maybe. You all seem to have a lot of faith in his ability to survive.
I have faith in his ability to kill,
That's fair.
less to survive.
Yeah.
Is Volk the kind of person to live off of cobalt and keep going?
How they taste?
Anyway,
Like chicken.
I'm going to sleep. I can't. It's
I
gonna take
imagine
me a while
snake.
to process everything I just saw.
Wizard.
So have anything you want to add on to that pile of nonsense?
Oh. Tell you what, Simi has wanted to hear my story forever. Tell you in the morning.
Are you sure you want her to know your story?
Sure. What does it hurt at this point?
You've been pretty resistant on sharing it with her for some reason.
I finally gave up, and now he's gonna just tell me.
That's how it works.
I mean, everything I just saw, combined with her seeming to mistrust me because she doesn't know everything.
She doesn't mistrust you.
I mean, she doesn't think that everything's real.
Okay, that's a whole nother ball of nonsense that you don't want to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just deal with it all tomorrow. Get it out of the way.
Okay.
So not this coming day, but the day after, because it's like morning.
Well, right. But he's going to bed way before the end of the watch.
Oh, so as we're having this discussion, so like as this is wrapping up, Killian's gonna be like, oh wait. Okay, no, you can keep, and he's gonna go sit on another side of the camp and like start meditating. But it is very sudden. He just like looks up at the sky and he's like, wait, hang on.
Yep, going to bed.
When you get out of meditation, Inger has just like stacked rocks on top of each other.
The last rock. So you kind of are doing your meditation thing, and you get the busy signal, and you figure, okay, so that wasn't it. You sort of bring yourself back to like the here and the now as Ingir is stacking the last rock on top of his pile of rocks. And it sits there for about a second, and then the ground starts to tremor just a little bit, and you see the rocks start to shake, and then they one by one fall off, and you hear the sound of rock on rock like all the way around the camp, and deep fissures like drop open, and you see the glow of fire from down below, and steam billows out. And that's where we're going to cut it off for the night.
What?
Yep.
Is this real?
Summon something!
So that is where we're going to leave it off for the night.
Wait, Keith. Right before all that happens, I'm gonna high five Ingir.
All right.
Good job, Ingir. Yeah.
All right.
Anarchy!
Trying to find the cameras. All right, so we're going to call it. We're going to call it there for the night. We hope you guys have enjoyed us and enjoyed getting back into the swing of things. Fingers crossed, keep everything crossed that you can, that we will be back with you guys on our regular night next week. Monday night, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. I will leave that up to you guys to figure out when that is in your own time zone. Until then, we will be here waiting anxiously for you guys to rejoin us.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
I'm going home to sleep. I don't know about the rest of you.
Just a few quick reminders. We do have our Discord server. If there is something that comes up with the schedule, be keeping tabs on the Discord server. We will put an announcement there if life happens and we have to reschedule or postpone or whatever it is that we wind up having to do. All of the videos do wind up on the YouTube channel. It is not a custom URL. But you can just go to the YouTube site, search for Casual Cactus, casual with a C, cactus with a K, and you'll be able to find it. All of our video content is there. All of the episodes from this campaign, past campaigns, one-shots, anything we do, you can find them there and keep tabs on us. That is all we have for tonight. Thank you for showing up. We will see you next week. And remember, until then...
Grab your bats and grab your balls!
And if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a glass house. Good night, everybody.
Good night.